Hello everyone. How are you all beautiful people? Hope all of you are doing great, and yes, this is the next part of What If Naruto reborn as grandson of Madara. Were our main character get incarnated into Naruto universe with overpower bloodline by God. Now he will follow his own path and bring changes in the new anime world he find himself in. This the third great Shinobi war arc. So without a delay let's start. Chapter 39, The Assassination. Soon, it's night time and we put our plan in motion. We have already memorized the map as it is pretty easy to infiltrate the hideout with my camouflage technique. The jutsu works on others as long as the person is within 5 meters of me. The mission is to assassinate the leader, but it is wise to kill the guards too, as they may hinder our escape. All of the ninjas are also trained in the art of silent assassination. Being a ninja isn't just performing fancy jutsus. We silently murdered all the guards with minimum bloodshed. We haven't encountered any Kumo ninja yet, and this made me frown. I want to finish the mission and retreat as soon as possible. I am feeling a bad premonition, but I can't seem to put my fingers around this. The room of Wakano is in our sight as we silently approach it. I signal to others with some hand signs as Shisui and Keijuko kill the 2 guards at the door. I put my hand on the ground as I try to sense any chakra disturbance. There is no chakra disturbance at the entrance as we enter the room. Shisui and I immediately activate our Sharingan as we approach the bed. The fat Wakano laid on the bed with a naked woman in his arms. I immediately take out my kunai as I plunge it in Wakano's neck. No blood is spilled as Wakano turns into a lightning clone, and the lightning made my hand numb. Fuck. It's a trap. The target is a lightning clone. Retreat as soon as possible. Before I could speak any further, a giant bear appears out of nowhere as it opens its mouth. Many Kumo ninjas start to pour out from its mouth and they surround us, blocking any path of retreat for us. Without wasting my time, I immediately make some hand signs as I slam my hand on the ground. Earth style, abyssal swamp. The ground starts to turn in a swamp as all of the Kumo ninjas get caught in it. Earth style, rock pedestal. A large block of rocks rises from the ground as all of the Kumo ninjas jump on it. At this point, the room of the clawhead is blown away and many enemies start to surround us. Fire style, great fireball jutsu. Shisui quickly some hand signs as he spews out a large ball of fire at Kumo ninjas. One of the Kumo ninja who wore the outfit of a Jounin commander immediately makes some hand signs. Water style, water bullet jutsu. The water bullet collides with the fireball and both of them cancel each other. A large amount of steam covers the area as Shisui starts to flicker around. Body flicker technique. Multiple Shisuis appear in the area as they attack Kumo ninjas. In the meantime, Keijuko and Mami escape the area to locate the real Wakano as me and Shisui confront the enemy ninjas. I threw a shuriken at enemy ninjas and make some hand signs. Shuriken shadow clone jutsu. The shuriken multiplies into various shurikens as it hit Kumo ninjas. A giant hand slams on my position. I dodge the attack and look towards the attacker. The Jounin commander stands atop the giant bear as the bear attacks me. After the initial ruckus, the situation had come to a standstill. I start to scan the Kumo ninjas as they do the same. There are 2 Jounins, 15 Chunins, and 1 Jounin commander. I regroup with Shisui as we face against them. 2 of them are missing. Hurry up and search for them. The Jounin commander shouts to his subordinates as 3 Chunin dashes out. Not so fast. I shout as I infuse chakra in my hand as metal wires appear in them. Lightning style, tension wire. The metal wires bind the chunins and zap them to death. Shisui, I will handle jounins. You take care of chunins. Yes, Nii-san. I start to gather chakra in my right hand as I prepare to launch a lightning style, vanishing Rasengan. The dormant Sin Seal awakens and it starts to rapidly absorb my chakra. My chakra reserves almost halves by the rapid absorption. Damn. Not this shit again. I curse the seal as I throw the Rasengan at the giant bear. The Rasengan vanishes after I launch it and the Jounin commander smirks at me. Boom. The Rasengan collides with the bear. The bear is blown away by the impact as its body is covered in lightning. Poof. The bear summons disappears as the Jounin commander looks warily at me. All of you, stop dilly-dallying and deal with him. He had used up a large amount of chakra in the previous jutsu. He rebukes his subordinates as they start to surround me. Lightning style, cooperation thunder bomb. The Kumo commander performs a joint jutsu with the two Jounins as a huge lightning orb closes on me. There is no space for my escape. Damn. I start to make some hand signs as I clutch my hand together. Wood style, wood locking wall. I use the recently learned wood style technique which I acquired from Yamato. Wooden pillars rise from the ground as they form a dome to protect me. The dome is able to withstand the cooperation jutsu of the Kumo Shinobis as the outer part of it gets chipped away. Damn. A wood style user. Kill or capture him quickly. We need to report this to Reikage-sama. Damn. I have to get rid of them, otherwise, my peaceful days will be over. It's time to get serious. I prick my thumb with my teeth as a drop of blood leaks from it, the wound closes immediately. Fuinjutsu, explosive blood carnate. Lots of Fuinjutsu seals start to coalesce as half of my remaining chakra gets sucked into the blood drop. A vicious-looking creature forms from the seal as it bares its fang at the Kumo ninjas. Scree. We have to stop him from whatever he is doing. Before the Kumo ninjas could react, the blood carnate vanishes from their sight as it appears in their midst. Katsu. Boom. A large explosion covered the area as a large amount of dust and debris rose in the air. A large column of energy appeared as violent energy dispersed in the sky. A massive crater formed in the place of Jounins as there is no sign of them. I created this jutsu by deciphering the seal of Ryumyaku and combining it with Fuinjutsu techniques. The jutsu requires a medium to detonate such a large amounts of chakra. After testing for a while, I could only use my blood as the medium to store a large amount of chakra. The immense vitality in my blood helps in stabilization of the chakra and the entire energy is released in the form of a controlled explosion on my signal. But there is a drawback to this jutsu. The consumption of chakra is very large and it seems to be the only jutsu capable of escaping from the sin seal on my hand. My guess is the blood is part of me and thus the chakra is technically still in my body. But I have yet to test my hypothesis. I grudgingly looked at the seal on my hand as I walked towards Shisui. Almost the entire reserve of my chakra is empty, most of which is sucked by this seal. What a powerful jutsu, Nii-san. Can you teach me this jutsu? Shisui is amazed by my jutsu as he looks at me with shining eyes. Cough cough. I coughed to get this attention as I questioned. Shisui, have you dealt with those chunins, and what about Keijuko and Mami? I have dealt with the chunins. It was a piece of cake to deal with them. We have killed Wakano too, Nii-san. This is the scroll I got from him. Keijuko replied to me as he pops out from a corner. Izuna Nii-san, your last jutsu is very powerful. Can you teach me? Mami chimes in as she looks at me with puppy eyes. I haven't perfected the jutsu yet, and this jutsu requires a large amount of chakra to use. I shrug them off by revealing the nature of jutsu. Now, let us meet with our spy and inform him of the completion of our mission. Keijuko, keep the scroll for a while, I will take it back later. We walk out of the organization towards the designated spot to meet the spy. My chakra reserves are almost empty. I deactivate my Sharingan to preserve chakra. The spy is standing on the spot as he waits for us. He notices our arrival and asks, "So, you have successfully completed the mission, huh? You created quite a big commotion for such a mission. Your information was incorrect. The enemy laid an ambush with many chunins and 3 jounins. Your misinformation almost cost us our lives. How will you take responsibility for that?" I question him as I raised my voice. I said it before I got the information from one of the hoodlums of the claw. Only their leader was aware of the exact situation. I am sorry for my misinformation. Now, will you be kind enough to show me the scroll you got from their base as it pertains to my mission? Chapter 40, Betrayal. Keijuko looks towards me for confirmation as I nod to him. After my approval, Keijuko walks to the spy and hands over the scroll to him. The spy examines the scroll for a while, confirming its contents. After examining the scroll for a while, he returns the scroll to Keijuko. As Keijuko is about to return, a sharp glint flash in spy's eyes as he stabs Keijuko with a sword hidden underneath his undergarment. We are shocked to see this as blood trickles down from Keijuko's chest. Keijuko spurts out a mouthful of blood as he looks at spy in disbelief. Kill them and get rid of their body. I have secured the scroll. The spy takes the scroll from Keijuko's body as he proceeds to run away. Around 20 ninjas in Kumo outfits surround us, start to attack. All of them wields tanto or short blades as they start to attack us. Lightning style, thunderstorm. They all perform a cooperation jutsu as bolts of thunderbolts start to strike toward us. Both Shisui and I make some hand signs. Wind style, violent wind breakthrough. Wind style, compression bomb. The jutsus from both sides collide as they cancel each other out. After the first failed attempt, the Kumo ninjas start to run around us as they encircle us. I have already exhausted most of my chakra and I can only use taijutsu now. I fork out a chakra pill from my pocket as I gulp it down. I have to use taijutsu to fight them. I have only mastered 1 gate out of 8 gates formation and I still haven't completely mastered the second gate of the 8 gate. It is quite risky to open the gate without mastering it, but I try to open it anyway as I am left with no choice. I hope my healing can cope with the damage caused by the stress of 8 gates. Gate of opening, open. Gate of healing, open. After opening 2 gates, my speed increases drastically. I draw my chakra blade and start to attack the enemy ninjas. Shisui, I will try to handle 12 enemy ninjas, you take on 7 and Mami try to combat one of the remaining ninjas. I try to formulate a combat strategy to buy some time to recover my chakra. Mami is a medical ninja, so her combat capabilities are the lowest of us all. Lightning style, lightning dragon. A giant lightning dragon attacks me as I coat my chakra blade in wind chakra and attack the dragon to disperse it. All of the ninjas throw many kunais with paper bombs attached to them as they attack me. Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu. I am able to deflect most of them, but some are still able to bypass and stab me as they explode. I dodged a part of the explosion with my speed, but the shockwaves hurl me to a nearby tree as I collide with it. The bone of my right arm broke as I used it to cushion my impact. I lie helplessly on the ground as enemy ninja closes on me. Shisui is also pushing himself hard as he continues to flicker around, creating multiple after-images and combat enemies. Mami. Where is Mami? I look around to search for Mami. One of the Kumo ninja is attacking Mami as she is barely holding against him. Slash. The enemy ninja uses a decoy and Mami falls for it. He uses this chance to slash her stomach with his sword. Blood started to leak from her wound as she mumbles. Save me, Izuna. Ni-san. She fell on the ground as a pool of blood gathers around her. Her eyes were wide open as she breathes her last. Izuna's thoughts were a mess and he starts to lose his sanity. The spy betrayed us. I still couldn't believe the outcome of the mission. We put our lives on the line to obtain the scroll just to get betrayed. My team member, my friend, died because of this betrayal. Mami and Keijuko lost their life in this mission. Am I about to die as well? Why it has to be in such a way? I still haven't lived enough in this world to die so early. No, I can't die. I won't die. No. Rage clouded Izuna's mind as his heartbeat start to increase. His nerves start to pop out as massive amount of chakra start to gather around his eyes. His Sharingan activates on its own. The tomos in his Sharingan starts to spin rapidly as they began to merge. The tomos merged together as they formed a five-cornered star shape with overlapping sides similar to three triangles crisscrossing each other. The pattern overlaid upon the silver sclera as the star patterns start to rotate. The disturbance in the chakra activated the sin seal as strange totems marks start to crawl out from the seal. The totems crawled all the way to his eye as they start to enter in his main Gekyo Sharingan. The right side of his body gets covered in totems as his clothes are ripped apart. Intense pain assaulted Izuna as he clutched his head and start to yell in pain. A large amount of information starts to enter his mind as blood starts to trickle from his right eye. Main Gekyo Sharingan, Limbo Hengoku. A shadow of Izuna starts to form from nearby space as it ripped reality and materialized in front of him. The shadow has similar clothing to Izuna, with the only difference being the shadow devoid of any color. The shadow floats in front of Izuna as it looked at him. The sin seal activates as the grimoire appeared once again. The metallic grimoire floats in front of him as the middle eye on the grimoire opens. The 8 pointy edges around the eye stab in the limbo and the eye separates from grimoire. The sin eye attaches itself to Limbo shadow and appears on Limbo's chest. Similar strange markings appear from the eye as totem marks appear on Limbo's entire body. The black totem's markings start to merge together. A large black scythe appear in Limbo's hands. The Limbo clutches the scythe as it turns towards the approaching Kumo ninjas. Without uttering a single word, Limbo starts a slaughter as it massacres the Kumo ninjas. Panic ensued among Kumo ninjas as they are unable to locate their assailant. One after another Kumo ninjas starts to die as they tried to dodge the unknown enemy in vain. Limbo butchers them one by one as Izuna stood lifelessly on one spot. Izuna loses consciousness from the chakra drain. The sin seal continues to cover his body in totems. A demonic black horn condenses on the right side of Izuna's head as the totems fuse together. Black fumes start to rise from his body as the totems continue to take over his body. The possessed Izuna draws out his chakra blade. The dark energy starts to cover the blade as the blade elongates and forms a dark long sword. Black fumes and purple flames cover the blade as Izuna swings it around. Darkness style, violent hell flame. Izuna stabs the longsword in ground as purple flames erupt from the sword. Ground cracks as the flames continue to travel beneath the ground. They erupt beneath enemy ninjas as Kumo ninjas are turned to ashes. Demon, it's a demon. The Kumo ninjas look at Izuna as their blood freezes from fear and their face turns ashen white. Mission failure, I repeat, mission failure. We need to retreat as soon as possible. One of the ninjas shouts as they start to retreat. Darkness style, corrosion chains. Purple corrosive chains come out from Limbo's chest and Izuna's hand as they wrap around the limbs of the ninjas. Darkness style, shadow step. Izuna disappears as he reappears near enemy ninjas. The heads of remaining ninjas rolled on the floor as their body corrodes to dust. Izuna stabs the longsword in ground as he roared. Roar. Limbo shadow hunts down the escaped spy as it executes him. The shadow picks up the scroll as it returns to Izuna. The Sinai returns to Grimoire as the shadow merges back with Izuna. The dark totems on his body return to Sin Seal and Izuna turns normal. A faint scent of blood and death permeates in the air. Izuna lays unconscious on the ground. Shortly after, Shisui arrives near Izuna and picks Izuna on his shoulders and starts to dash towards the village. The tomos in Shisui's Sharingan start to spin rapidly as they merge together to form a 4-point pinwheel pattern Mangekyo Sharingan. Tears and blood start to trickle down from his eyes as he dashes towards the village. Chapter 41, Mindscape. My head hurts as I groggily opened my eyes and looked around. I am in a very dark place as I could hardly spot any light. I stand up and start to wander around to scout this place. I walk aimlessly for a while, but I couldn't spot any exit or entrance to this place. Where am I? I yell loudly but there is no response. Is anyone here? Shisui, can you hear me? If someone can hear me then answer me. Hello, anybody here? I start to move around the place as I continued to yell to find someone to answer to me. I start to recall the incidents before passing out as I strained my memories. We were on a mission to assassinate a local organization leader. We successfully completed the mission. Memory starts to flow in my mind as I recalled the events. Keijuko was killed by the spy and Mami also died in the hands of Kumo ninjas. Tears trickled down my face as I recalled these memories. After that I strained my memories but I can't seem to recall any events after Mami died. My head hurts. I clutched my forehead as I felt a stabbing pain in my head. My gaze went to my hand as I activated my Sharingan. There is no trace of Sin Seal. I checked again but I couldn't spot the seal. Did the seal vanish on its own? I felt happy when I thought about such a thing. That strange seal is sucking up the majority of my chakra, leaving me with the bare minimum. I can't even perform any powerful jutsu after I got that seal. The moment I try to infuse chakra to perform a jutsu, the seal will trigger and start to absorb my chakra. Thank God. I got rid of that weird seal. Now the real question is, where am I? There is no trace of any living thing here and all I can see is complete darkness. Wait. Darkness and no sign of anybody. I start to recall the scene when Naruto first met with Kurama. He was also in a similar place, though his mindscape looked similar to a sewage system. So, am I inside my mindscape? As soon as I thought of this, the darkness starts to fade and I appear in a completely white room. This room seemed similar to the room where I first met with God when I died. Have I died again? I immediately start to look around to search for God. But there is no sign of God. My attention is drawn by some shining orbs in the center of the room and I walk toward them. 9 orbs with different colors are floating in the center of the room. I start to inspect them as I got closer. The colors of the orbs are red, cyan, yellow, brown, blue, gray, translucent white, pitch black, and white. After close inspection, I concluded that they represent different elements I have unlocked. I urged for the pitch black orb to move towards me. The orb floated in front of me as I touched it. Vast knowledge of darkness element appeared in my mind. I start to digest the information as I rapidly mastered the element. After an unknown amount of time. So, this is the darkness element. I have learned the basics of the darkness element. I just need to practice them to learn more. I closely inspected the orb and I spotted the sin seal symbol on it. Ha! Sin seal is on darkness orb. Don't tell me it is the reason for me to master the darkness element. I wonder what this thing is. I inspected all of the other orbs as well. The knowledge I have collected on various elements so far refreshed in my mind. That's very useful. These orbs can be seen as data banks for various elements. The knowledge I gather or learn is stored in these orbs and I can recall the entire knowledge whenever I want. I spotted another spiral orb between other orbs. After inspecting it, the orb turns out to be the space element. So, this is my mindscape. Quite a convenient place to be. I closed my eyes as I thought of exiting this place. I got sucked into a gateway as I opened my eyes. Shisui is carrying me on his shoulders as he runs in the direction of Konoha. There is a trace of blood around his eyes. I guessed he has awakened his main Gekyo Sharingan too. Shisui, I am fine now. You can stop carrying me. I jumped from Shisui's back as I examined my right hand. The broken bone is already fixed and all of the wounds and muscle tears healed. I clutched my fist tightly to ensure it. Nii-san. Are you okay? Yes, I am fine. Let us return to the village and report this matter to Hokage. We lost both Keijuko and Mami in this mission. Your instinct was right, Nii-san, this mission was at least A rank or even S rank. Also, that betrayal. Shisui clutched his fists. Nii-san, what was that jutsu you used earlier? It was very powerful. Shisui starts to narrate the incident. Such a thing happened after I lost consciousness. I looked at my right hand as I activated my Sharingan. Sin seal is still present there. I activated my main Gekyo Sharingan to understand the seal deeper. What I saw baffled me. There are strange black chains around my hand as they held the seal in place. I tried to touch them but my hands passed through them. I inspected closely and I could spot some space fluctuations around the chains. The chains are from a separate dimension. I infuse space element chakra in my hands as I touched the nodes of the chain. Sparks ignited from chains as the nodes repulsed my hand. Seems like my understanding of space is still too shallow to interact with a separate dimension. Nii-san, Nii-san, are you listening to me? Shisui starts to shake me. Yes, I am listening. I show him my main Gekyo Sharingan as I speak. That was the power of my main Gekyo Sharingan. I awakened them when I saw Keijuko and Mami die. I lied to Shisui as it is too much of a hassle to explain in detail to him. I have awakened the main Gekyo Sharingan too. Shisui activates his main Gekyo as he shows them to me. Shisui, listen. No matter whatever the case, don't show or use your main Gekyo Sharingan in front of anyone. Only use them in case of an emergency. These eyes are cursed, you will go blind if you use them excessively. You are smart enough to figure the rest. I warned Shisui. Yes, Niai-san. I will keep that in mind. We reached the village and I ordered Shisui to visit the infirmary while I report the matter to Hokage. Inside the Hokage office. So, that's the entire series of events that happened during our mission. Hokage-sama, I want some answers from you. Hiruzen contemplated for a while as he sighed. Go ahead. Ask your questions. I would like to know which elder provided you with the information. It is one of my old teammates and trusted partner Danza Shimura. I have no doubts about his loyalty to the village. I can vouch for that. Hiruzen replied in a serious tone. Thank you. Hokage-sama, I trust your words. I will take my leave now. I replied to him with my head lowered as rage is burning in my eyes. Izuna, you are a ninja. And it is regular for deaths to occur during a mission. This is the norm of the world. I am sure you will be able to move on from this event. We ninjas hardly live past our 30s as lives are lost daily. Hiruzen tries to explain some sense to Izuna. Yes, Hokage-sama. I will keep that in mind. I reply to him in a bland voice. Also, a war is about to start soon. Your services will be required at the border. I expect great things from you during the war. Inside an underground building, in the headquarters of the route. Danza sat on his seat as a boar-masked Anbu presenter scrolled to him. After reading the report, Danza smashes the armrest of the newly replaced chair as he shouts in anger. Damn it! 20 elite Anbus. 20 of the elite Anbus of my route died in that mission. Not even their body is found. Do any of you have any explanation for this? Danza-sama. Out of 4 people, 2 genins died in the mission. The 2 Uchihas involved in the mission survived. Maybe, we can capture them to interrogate about the details. One of the Anbu suggested. No, we don't have time for that. It is fine as long as some people died. Danza waved his hand and dismissed all Anbus. My aim to inflict conflict between Konoha and Kumo is successful. Now it is time for Iwa. Konoha shall be the only ruler of this world and I will be its only Hokage. Looks like I need to speed up things a little. Chapter 42, Start of the Third Shinobi War. At Kusagakyo's borders. Several route Anbus are discussing something while hiding in a cave. Danza-sama had ordered us to attack the patrol team of Konoha. We have to disguise as Iwa ninjas while attacking them. The order must be fulfilled at all costs and after killing one patrol team, attack another. Make sure to leave no trace of yourself, even if you die. Also, allow at least one witness to escape from your grasp to inform the village about the attack of Iwa ninjas. Now scatter. Yes. All route Anbus shouts in unison as they use transformation jutsu to turn into Iwa ninjas. The land of grass is a big conflict zone between Konohagakyo and Iwagakyo. The previous war left both sides with a severe lack of resources. Several powerful shinobis died in the previous war, which further dwindled the powers of large nations. The power of smaller nations starts to increase as their powers start to pose a threat to larger nations. In an attempt to gain stability and resources, the larger nations turned towards smaller nations as the conflict between them spread all over the continent. Smaller nations became the battlefield of larger nations and a large number of skirmishes occurred between their shinobis. Iwagakyo was left devastated by the Second Shinobi War. Its power dwindled by a large margin as the Land of Stone became one of the poorest nations, second only to the Land of Wind. This made Iwagakure desperate to control the land of grass and get hold of its resources and possibly invade the land of fire. Danza saw this as an opportunity to thoroughly eradicate the threat of Iwagakure, and thus he orchestrated such a plan to initiate a war between the two nations. The slaughter starts when Root and Bus disguised as Iwa ninjas start to kill the patrol border team. Soon, this news reached the captain as multiple teams were wiped out. The captain immediately sent the message back to Konoha. Hiruzen opened the scroll passed to by him by a messenger bird. Hokage-sama. We have suffered many casualties at the border. Iwa ninjas are continuously ambushing and killing our men. We need to counterattack. Please send reinforcements to border or Iwa will successfully invade Land of Fire. Hiruzen took a deep whiff of his smoking pipe as he signaled a nearby Anbu. Summon all Jounins present in the village. The war is inevitable. After an hour, all of Jounins of village assembled at the rooftop of Hokage's office. All of them bowed on their knee as they awaited further orders from Hokage. Hiruzen starts to assign different Jounins with their teams at various strategic places to increase efficiency. Disperse. All of Jounins flickered away. Minato, wait here. Minato stops and stands in front of Hiruzen. Minato, you and your team will go to one of the most important strategic places of the Kusagakure. Hiruzen forks out a scroll from his pocket and marks a place on it. This is the Canopy Bridge of Kusagakure. If Iwa wants to invade Land of Fire, then they will definitely pass through this bridge. Your job is to guard this bridge, and if the situation asks for it, then you are free to destroy the bridge. Minato nods to Hiruzen and disappears from the spot. Minato, I have high expectations for you. Don't disappoint me. The war started in full bloom as ninjas from both sides clashed. Several Shinobis from both sides died as bloodshed continued. Somewhere in a mountainous region located at the northmost region of land between Takegakure and Land of Sound, dense forest and bones of many giant creatures could be seen jutting out from earth. In an underground mine connected to some ruins, a secret hideout is located. Inside the hideout, an extremely worn and emaciated old man sat on a large tree stump. The man had thin white hair that hung loosely on his shoulders with a large bang of hair covering his right eye. He wore a simple black outfit and used the kama as a makeshift cane. His eyes were closed. It's about time. The old man stands from the tree stumps as he speaks. Many white parasitic beings with half-deformed body and a midsection with a zigzag pattern similar to a flower of Venus flytrap starts to appear from closed walls of the hideout. All of them nod to him as they start to move out of the underground cave. The old man walks to a large tree with a single lotus-like flower. A humanoid protrusion grew from the trunk of the tree. The old man looked at the humanoid protrusion as he speaks. Hashirama, I will succeed where you failed. Once my Eye of the Moon plan succeeds, true peace will fall upon this world. The man walks back to the large tree stumps as he sat back on it. Izuna, Kasumi, I will create true peace in this cruel world which claimed your lives. At Kusagakure borders, the fight between Konoha and Iwa ninjas intensified as more and more Shinobi died. Inside Hokage's office, Hiruzen looked at the reports of the war. A frown appeared on his face. Call Sakumo Hatake, right now. One of the Anbu guarding him disappeared. Hiruzen starts to contemplate over the new report. Kumogakure had finally bared its fangs at Konoha. In the middle of the night, various Kumo ninjas sneaked near the borders of Land of Hot Water as they launched an attack on the Land of Fire borders. The recent attack and the chakra ore mining incident previously armed Kumo ninjas from head to toe. During troubled times, Kumo also wants a share of the pie from Iwa and Konoha. Hokage-sama. You called me. Sakumo appears in front of Hiruzen as he kneels on the ground to pay his respect to Hokage. Hiruzen passes the report to Sakumo, who starts to read the information. Sakumo, as you can see, Kumo had launched an assault on the land of fire. I want you to lead some Jounins, Chunins, and Genins to lead the war against Kumo on land of hot water's battlefield. Hiruzen orders Sakumo. Hokage-sama. Chunins is fine, but even Genins. Genins will only serve as cannon fodders, as this will only increase casualties in the war. Are you sure about it? Sakumo questions the order. Sakumo, I understand your sentiment. But there is a severe lack of manpower in Konoha right now. Most of our forces are occupied at Kusagakure by Iwagakure ninjas. That battlefront is too important to be lost. Iwa is desperate to occupy Kusagakure as well as invade our land of fire. As for Kumogakure, they are fishing in troubled waters and aren't that desperate. But we can't take them lightly. They have amassed large amounts of weapons and are ready for war. One moment of carelessness from us can cause our defeat. Hiruzen explains the situation to Sakumo in all battlefronts on a map. I understand, Hokage-sama. I will immediately gather everyone and march towards the borders. Sakumo nods as he agrees with Hiruzen. Oh. Sakumo, take that Uchiha Kidajuna with you. I am sure you are aware of him. It was his team that gathered some intel while on a mission to land of hot water recently. Yes, Hokage-sama. I will tag him along. Sakumo flickers away from Hokage's office and disappears from Hiruzen's vision. Hiruzen contemplates for a while before he starts to write a message on a scroll. Pass this scroll to Minato Namikaze. He has learned Tobirama Sensei's Flying Thunder God Jutsu. His mobility will be very helpful in the battle. Inform him to switch battlefronts any instance when required. I am not sure what Kumogakure is up to, but whatever it is, it will only spell trouble for Konoha. The Anbu nods as he ties the scroll to the feet of the messenger bird who arrived earlier. The bird flew away and carried the scroll. Hiruzen sighed as he starts to complain about his old age. Immediately summon all clan heads to an emergency meeting. We need to mobilize their full force to gain a chance of victory in this war. Another Anbu flickered away and went to summon all clan leaders for the meeting. Summon Homura Mitakado, Koharu Utatane, and Danza Shimura for the meeting too. I am sure the wisdom of my old friends will help us a lot in this war. Another Anbu flickered away to summon the elders of the village for the meeting. In a meeting room near Hokage's office, all of the clan head and village elders gathered as the meeting to decide a strategy to win the war started. Chapter 43, First Step on Battleground. Various clan leaders and clan elders gather in the meeting room as the meeting starts. Heated discussions start to occur as various issues arose. I will deploy my route Anbus on Iwa battlefront. But my route Anbus will remain independent from the command of Shinobi commanders of the Shinobi unit. They will only take orders from me and me alone. I have trained them with years of hard work and dedication, at least I should be able to command them. Danza presses this matter as he refuses to oblige to any request pertaining to the command of route Anbus. If only your disciple Tsunade was here, then we could prevent many casualties during this war. Her contributions during the Second Shinobi War are a testament to her prowess. But she is still stubborn as ever and refuses to get over the grief of the death of her lover and younger brother. What a waste of talent and time. Koharu rebukes Tsunade for her incompetency as she looks at Hiruzen. Also, one of the Sanins Jiraiya is now out of village. His whereabouts are unknown to us. He could have been a huge help for the village. At least, we have Orochimaru to assist us in this war. Homura raises another issue. We aren't here to discuss the whereabouts of my disciples but to think of a strategy to win the war. Also, I have summoned them back to the village. I have sent Jiraiya to scout some intel and Tsunade will arrive shortly. Hiruzen stresses on the graveness of matter. Koharu and Homura snorts but nods quietly. Since all of the clan leaders have gathered here, let's start the meeting. Various clan leaders and elders present their views and support in one way or another. Miyakimichi clan will provide chakra pills and medicines during the war. Chizuru Kimichi shows his support. My Hyuga clan will take part in scouting, sensing, and reconnaissance teams. We will be a part of the intelligence gathering team. Hayashi Hyuga present his opinion. Minoru clan will take care of logistics. Then our Inuzuka clan will form a tracking team. Our Yamanaka clan will handle the communication and intel transfer. The meeting lasts for a while with many disputes and conflicts in between. In the end, a deployment strategy made by Shikakunara was unanimously approved by all council members. None of them have the capabilities of outsmarting Inara in terms of intelligence and wisdom. Various clans deployed their reserve forces to partake in war. Many retired shinobis were requested to assist in the war. As for the Uchiha clan, the majority of the police force is deployed to the battlefront with only a remaining few left in the village to guard and maintain the order in the village. After the meeting is over, Hiruzen sighs in relief. He picks up the latest intel regarding the war as he skims through it. Looks like this war will bring many great changes to the Shinobi world. Peace is nothing but a pipe dream in this world. Meanwhile in the Uchiha compound, Shisui and Izuna are training in Shuriken Jutsu and Taijutsu as they spar with each other. They continuously attack each other with kunais and shurikens and sometimes hand-to-combat. Izuna is honing Shisui's skills in close combat as that is one of the weaknesses of Shisui. Both of them switch to Tantos as they clash with each other. Shisui is a quick learner as he is soaking all the knowledge into Jutsu and Kenjutsu like a sponge. Izuna is training Shisui in some basic tactics that will help him during the war. It has been 7 days since their previous mission. The sorrow and grief over the loss of his teammate is too big of a burden for Shisui. Shisui recuperated his wounds and mental trauma in this week as he starts to understand the cruelty of this world. Akira, Eiko, Yagami, and Fumiko are on the battlefield as they are requested by the village to fight in the war due to the shortage of manpower. Hiruzen gave them a week to recuperate from their wounds and traumas as they are required to fight on the battlefield too. After training for a while, Shisui starts to breathe heavily and ask for a break. Time out, Nii-san. I am, exhausted. Let's take a break for a while. I stop our spar as I pick up a towel from the nearby tree and give it to Shisui. Shisui wipes his sweat and looks at me. Nii-san, you aren't even breathing heavily, much less sweating. Your endurance and stamina are on a different level than me. Shisui complains. Shisui, with enough practice you will reach the same level as me. For now, let's return home and have some food. Shisui nods as we walk in the streets of the Uchiha clan. The usual hustle-bustle of clan is nowhere to be seen. Occasionally a few kids and old grandmas could be seen on the streets. The war has heavily affected the business of many shops. The entire business district of the Uchiha clan is deserted. Even my favorite sweet shops where I buy dango and other sweets are closed. Shisui sulks as he looks at the closed shop. Hey, Niai-san. Do you think we will also participate in war? I look at Shisui who has a very pensive expression. Yes, sooner or later we will be deployed on front lines to fight for village. Not only us, even freshly graduated genins with no experience will be sent to the battlefield if the situation demands it. I heard from the father that Konoha is flanked from sides by Iwa and Kumo shinobis. Shisui, I have a serious question for you. Would you mind if I ask from you? Shisui shakes his head as he replies. Niai-san, just ask the question. There is no need for my approval. Then, Shisui, what do you think of the current Shinobi system? I mean, even small kids like us are sent to war to fight for village. What do you think about it? I question him in a serious tone. Niai-san, ain't it clear? We all are shinobis and it is our duty to protect our clan and village. Our clan is a part of the village and to protect the clan, I have to protect the village from invaders. Shisui has its obvious expression on his face as he replies to me. Guess, I am the weird one who still has some of the values and mindset from the previous world. This world has the supernatural element chakra which made being of this world a lot stronger. I also don't know in what way will this world change me. After all, I turned from a powerless person to an overpowered cheat. Will too much power consume me or will I able to overcome the demons of my heart? I look at the sin seal on my hand as I shook my head. Guess, only time will tell. For now, I have to focus my attention on other matters. As we walk towards our home, a shadow flickers and appears in front of us. Looks like we have to join the war earlier than I thought. I am surprised by the person who appeared in front of me. I finally found you, Izuna. Uncle Sakumo appears in front of me as he starts to explain to me. Hokage-sama has ordered me to include both of you in my team. We will be moving towards the Kumo battlefront in just about an hour. Gather all of your stuff and necessities, we will meet at the entrance of the village. Poof. Sakumo-san dissipates in a puff of smoke as he turned out to be a shadow clone. Shisui, this answers your earlier question. Now let's hurry and prepare our supplies for the war. We only have an hour to do so. Both Shisui and I flicker away as we prepare our supplies. After an hour later, at Konoha's entrance gate. Nearly 50 jounins, 90 chunins, and large numbers of genins were gathered. Sakumo stands in front of them as he lectures them. This is Battalion 1 of our Shinobi Unit Number 4. I am Sakumo Hatake, your unit commander. Other battalions will gather soon. As for now, all of you march towards the battlefront. I will meet you all shortly with other battalions. For now, the captain of your battalion will lead you. Do any of you have any queries? No, Sir Commander. All of us shouts in unison. The battalion marches towards Kumo battlefront as Shisui and I join them. We arrive at the battlefront in 7 hours as we join the camp. The captain of the patrol guards had a meeting with our captain as both of them devise a strategy to deploy us for the meantime. Our reinforcements will arrive soon and then we can choose an offensive stance. The tired battalion relaxes for an hour. After an hour we finally step on the battleground. Chapter 44, Kumo Battlefront. The war is entirely different from what I expected. There is no direct confrontation between two sides unless one side has an absolute advantage over others. Both sides are using guerrilla warfare tactics to test each other's strength. The forest near the mountains has become the battle zone for the war. The captain further divided the battalion in squads, with each squad having 30 members. Shisui and I are in squad number 9. We are deployed with a scouting unit together with some Hyugas and Inuzukas. The captain assigned us to this squad as he doubts our combat capabilities. I had no problem with the squad as I want to slowly experience the intricacies of the war. The war will help me cultivate my skills in tracking and intel gathering. This war is an opportunity for me. There will be tons of Kekai Genkai users during this war, and I can use this as a chance to increase jutsus in my arsenal and learn more Kekai Genkais. I am capable of combining elements, but watching a user performing the Kekai Genkai or figuring it out yourself, the choice is obvious. The ability to track down enemies and differentiate between decoys and the real clue is quite hard than I thought it out to be. I activated my Sharingan and asked Shisui to do the same as we learned from the Trackanins. I am amazed by their deductions and perception as I start to absorb knowledge like a sponge. Our team is doing pretty well on the scouting missions. The Hyuga's Bakugan helped a lot in avoiding the enemies who lied in ambush ahead. My Sharingan helped me see even further than Hyuga, as I can even see infrared and other M waves. When the Hyugas ran out of chakra, we decide to return to camp. On our way, a confrontation finally happened. I have already warned my team about their presence. We met with a combat-oriented team of Kumo. There are around 25 ninjas in the enemy team. Fire style, great fireball technique. I made a few hand signs and spewed out a large fireball. I have to gain the advantage of a preemptive strike. The Sin Seal on my hand starts to absorb my chakra rapidly. After the previous use of Sin Seal, its rate of chakra absorption increased by 2-fold. But I have found a way to counter that. Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu. I form 4 shadow clones as I continue to fight them. Yes, Shadow Clone distributes my chakra through clones, and the clone's chakra is still a part of my body. Water style, Water Dragon Jutsu. One of the enemy ninjas uses water style to counter my fireball. Swish, swish. I appear behind an enemy ninja as I slit his throat. Poof. The user of the fireball technique turns out to be my shadow clone. We were surrounded by multiple enemy teams ahead, and I could only choose this team to fight as they had the least number of ninjas. Blood dripped from Kumo Ninja's neck as he laid dead on the ground. I have targeted one of their tracking nin. The confrontation finally began. A confrontation usually starts with multiple jutsus from both sides, followed by hand-to-hand combat or taijutsu when they ran out of chakra. 8 trigrams vacuum palm. One of the Hyuga uses his gentle fist art in conjugation with Bakugan to attack the enemies. Genjutsu, Sharingan. Both Shisui and I activate our Sharingan as we cast a Genjutsu on them. This presents a huge opportunity for our team as we are able to slay 5 more enemies before the Genjutsu is dispelled. This Genjutsu was used against the entire enemy squad rather than a person, so it was less effective. My Genjutsu techniques are falling behind. I have to train them during the war with enemies as my prey. Shisui draws out his Tanto as he starts to dash around the enemies. Body flicker technique, after image clone. Multiple copies of Shisui appears as they surround enemies. With his fast speed, Shisui can move between his after images and deliver attacks from each of them, thus each of them having mass behind them. He moves to another after image if any enemy attacks him, allowing his opponent to phase through his after image. Kenjutsu style, Moonlight Slash. Shisui starts to attack them one after another. There is no hesitation in his moves as he fluidly executes one move after another. Now, it is my turn to attack them. All of my shadow clones start to make hand seals. Fire style, water style, lightning style, wind style, massive combo jutsu. All of my clones spew out respective elements as they clash together to create a large explosion engulfing most of the enemies. The surviving enemies are executed by my team as we finished them. Let's retreat to camp. This fight has caused quite the commotion, we can't risk being surrounded by the enemies. The Hyuga advises as we follow him. A day passed since that incident. After that fight, Izuna gets promoted to Combat Squad 1. Shisui is transferred to Squad 3. The next day, scouts gathered the latest intel as they presented a scroll to Captain. The captain quickly skimmed through the intel as he frowned. He quickly ordered one of Jounins. Quickly send this information to Hokage-sama and ask for aid from him. We can't delay this news. The Jounin immediately went to the Logistics and Information Squad as he relayed the message. A Yamanaka member with a strange device on his head sat near one of the sensing technique sphere. The Jounin approaches the Yamanaka clan member as he speaks. Inobu-san, please pass this important message to Hokage-sama immediately. We need assistance to deal with the new enemy. Sakumo-san is occupied in a battle against Third Raikage and is unable to help us deal with the intruders. Inobu Yamanaka nods his head as he transfers the intel to headquarters in Konoha. The Yamanakas uses a hiijutsu of their clan to perform a secret jutsu. Mind-body transmission technique. This technique allows them to telepathically connect with another person to send their memories to another person located far away. This technique allows Konoha to have the latest intel on the battlefield every moment. Yamanaka clan is respected throughout the village just because of this technique. In Konoha, inside a building near Hokage's office, a bunch of people monitors the situation of the battlefield through intel sent by various logistics units present near the battlefield. Shikaku roams around the room as he contemplates and relays orders to various units through the help of Inoichi Yamanaka. Suddenly, Inoichi receives an important message as calls Shikaku. Shikaku, this is a very important message from Battalion 1 of Shinobi Unit 4 deployed on Kumo front. Shikaku immediately approaches Inoichi as Inoichi places his hand on Shikaku's head to relay the information. Shikaku has a grave expression after he heard the intel. Try to hold them back for a few hours, I will immediately relay this information to Hokage-sama. Help will soon be on its way. Shikaku hurriedly left the room as he had a pensive expression on his face. He knocks on Hokage's office and Hiruzen allows him in. Hokage-sama, this is an emergency. We need quick aid at Kumo battlefront. Shikaku relayed the entire intel to Hiruzen. Hiruzen frowned as he starts to contemplate. Shikaku, inform him about this matter. I am sure he will be able to turn the situation around. But before that, report the current situation at Iwa borders to me. Shikaku reports the intel as he returns to headquarters with Hokage's message. In the meantime, at Kumo battlefront, the captain hears the plan relayed by Shikaku as he sighs in relief. Seems like we just have to hold them for a while. Gather Squad 1 and 2, I have important orders for them. The situation is not looking good. Help will arrive in a few hours, we have to just hold them back for a while. Some sacrifices have to be made if we want to prevent a disaster to befall on Land of Fire. Soon Squad 1 and Squad 2 gathers near Captain's camp as he starts to address them. A team of Kumo ninjas successfully infiltrated the Land of Fire borders and are approaching the camp. The number of Shinobis is still unknown, but the enemy is quite strong as they have annihilated one of our squad in a matter of minutes. The captain read the intel aloud in front of the squads as he orders. We can't allow the enemy team to infiltrate in Land of Fire and possibly assassinate the daimyo. To cope with them, 2 of our strongest squads will join hands and confront them. You just have to hold them back for a while as help is on its way. Both squads quickly dash in direction of enemies. While running, Azuna wonders about the identity of enemies who infiltrated the borders. Chapter 45. Yellow Flash. Our squad reaches the destination to intercept the enemies. All of us hid ourselves and get ready to ambush the enemies. I activate my Sharingan to increase my perception. Suddenly, a blue blur passes by. It is about to strike one of our comrades. Watch out! I immediately shout to inform the team. Lightning release, lariat. Expansion jutsu. Boom! The blur slams in the ninja and sends him flying away. The Akimichi clan member is able to survive the impact through the use of expansion jutsu. I clearly saw the appearance of blur. It is a ninja cloaked in a lightning cloak with Kumo headband. The only possible person with such an appearance is the unrulier of the Kumo Gakyo. All of us stops as we start to inspect the enemies. Fool! You fool! Let's deal with these fools, later I wanna soak in a pool. I immediately recognized this speaking pattern. There is only one person in the entire Naruto series who raps while speaking, Killer Bee the Jinchuriki of 8 Tails. Damn! The situation has turned from bad to worse. Our team is meant to be sacrificed to stop Kumo in their tracks. I ain't going down without a fight. Wind style, compression bomb. I spew out compressed air from my mouth as it strikes towards A dodges the attack with his lightning cloak. Man Beast Ultimate Taijutsu, Fang over Fang. One of the Inuzuka clan members in our team attacks Killer Bee with his Ninken. Stop! He isn't someone you can handle on your own. One of the Hyuga members shouts towards the Inuzuka member. A large octopus tentacle appears out of nowhere and slaps away Inuzuka and his Ninken. The Inuzuka slams into a tree and coughs some blood. He weakly stands up and feeds a pill to his Ninken and eats one himself. Both of the squads have a wry expression as the Hyuga informs them. That's the Jinchuriki of 8 Tails. From the look of it, it seems like he can control 8 Tails perfectly. We are in trouble now. I hope that reinforcement arrives soon. We have to buy some time for reinforcement to arrive. I hope that we can last long enough to stop their charge. Another ninja reminds us of our mission. I ignore their ranting as I throw shurikens and make some hand signs. Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu. A large number of shuriken strikes towards the Kumo ninjas. As the shurikens are about to hit them, a giant octopus tentacle appears as it rotates and deflects them. TCH. Killer Bee is a problem and I don't want him to transform in 8 Tails and drop a Baijua bomb on me. I have to seal his chakra and at least buy enough time for Minato to arrive. I have already figured out who our reinforcement is. This scene reminds me of a fight between A and Minato. But I can't take the risk, I have to fight them. Taijutsu, drop kick. A cloaked in lightning chakra arrives before me as he drops kick me. Poof. The shadow clone dissipates as I shout. Fuinjutsu, shadow binding seal. A sealing formula appears from my clone as it starts to crawl over A's body. The Fuinjutsu seal starts to seal his chakra as his body is covered in the sealing formula. A's lightning cloak starts to diminish and he stands rooted on the spot. Rasengan. A looks wide-eyed at me as I make a Rasengan and prepare to slam it in him. The Sin seal activates as it starts to suck my chakra, but I pay no heed to it. As Rasengan is about to slam in a large tentacle covers and blocks my strike. I smirk at this. I have been waiting for this moment. I have infused enough chakra for my next seal. Fuinjutsu style, 5 elements seal. I slam my fingers which are covered in different elemental chakras in the tentacle. A large sealing formula spreads over the tentacle as it starts to cover Killer B's body. The 8 tails inside Killer B shouts to him. B, this seal is preventing me from supplying chakra to you. It will take me 15 minutes to break this seal, so you won't be able to transform for the next 15 minutes. You can only use partial transformation. Also, B, that earlier jutsu used by this Uchiha kid resembles a tailed beast bomb. I really dread these Uchihas. A shiver ran down 8 Tails' spine as the figure of Madara Uchiha appears in its mind. Killer B is able to save her from my Rasengan as he grabs her away. A rile up chakra inside his body as he undoes the seal. I cast the previous seal in a hurry, so it wasn't that effective. It only restrains the target for a few seconds, enough to create an opening in the fight. Fuck. This Sin seal has forced me to use Taijutsu and Fuinjutsu. Every time I try to perform a chakra taxing technique, the seal starts to suck my chakra reserves dry. I need to visit the land of whirlpools after this war. I have to figure out the nature of this seal and I hope Uzumaki clan has detailed information about this seal. Who are you, kid? Despite being an Uchiha, how are you able to use the Fuinjutsu of Uzumaki clan? A looks at me as he questions. I am Izuna Uchiha, I reply to him with a calm expression, but my back is drenched in cold sweat. I have already used all of my tricks and they all succeeded because of the element of surprise. But now the surprise element is gone and B, despite being unable to use complete transformation, is still a very powerful Shinobi, and let us not forget about her. Also, if necessary, I don't want to reveal my main Gekyo Sharingan. As A is about to attack us, a light flashes in front of us. Whoosh, whoosh. Minato appears in front of us as he picks up a kunai from a nearby tree. The Akimichi sighs in relief as he looks at Minato. The kunai was given to him by his captain and he stabbed it in the tree. One of the Kumo ninjas recognizes Minato as he reminds. The blonde hair and the teleportation jutsu. That's gotta be the Leaf's yellow flash. We got to retreat right now. Don't you think? So, that's him. The one who single-handedly stopped the recovery of the 9 tails. A recognizes Minato as he remarks. And I know you, you are the son of Hidden Cloud's 3rd Raikage, you are called Unruly. I have heard that you are quite fast yourself. Minato also recognizes her as he praises her. We can take it, the two of us, bro. Fool. You're fool. B speaks confidently to her as he gets ready to fight Minato. Everybody stay out of this. I will fight them. Minato puts his left hand on a holster tied to his back and throws many of his signature Trifork kunai all over the place. Minato-san, I have used 5 elemental seals to restrain the chakra of the 8 tails. He won't be able to transform into 8 tails for the next 15 minutes. Finish it quickly in the next few minutes. I explain the situation to Minato as I retreat. I don't want to miss a chance to watch the yellow flash in action. cloaks his body in lightning as he shoots towards Minato like a lightning bolt. I can follow his speed with my Sharingan, but my reflexes and speed aren't fast enough to react to his speed. As is about to punch Minato, Minato flings a kunai in the air and teleports from the spot. Minato appears on a branch with a kunai. Has a look of disbelief as he mutters, "I can't believe he counters me at my top speed." Minato reappears behind as he is about to stab a tentacle pushes out of the way as Minato stabs in the tentacle. I guess Killer Bee never got a girlfriend with all those tentacles. He can easily go for a tentacle play. Cough, cough, my thoughts. Jumps back to Killer Bee as he speaks. Forgive me, Bee. You doing all right? Bee breathes heavily as he struggles to prevent the seal from further sealing his chakra. That's nothing. It is a child's play for me, the cool eight-tails Killer Bee. Fool. You're fool. Killer Bee raps as he convinces you have a fine family and as do I. I suspect the next time we meet, we will be fighting as one kid against another kid. If you don't figure out what your little brother considers most precious to him, he will neither be a Jinchuriki nor a human. Starts to look around to spot all kunais as tries to predict the next teleportation spot of Minato. He cloaks his body in lightning and charges again at Minato. Minato teleports and reappear behind B while pointing a kunai at his neck. A teleportation seal appears on the tentacle. You are my foe, but I like you. But I will advise you to return to your village. Killing you will create too many complications for this war, which aren't good for both Kumo as well as Konoha. Minato retreats as he spares B. Our team starts to return to camp with no casualties, only the Akimichi and Inuzuka have some injuries. Chapter 46, 46. Sharingan vs Storm Release. On our way back to camp, I ask Minato a question. Minato-san, you could have easily killed those two people. Why you spared them? They are our enemy and we are at a war with them. They killed one of our team, it is our turn to pay back them. Minato shakes his head at my question as he explains. No, that wouldn't be a wise thing to do. There are various complications involved in their death. Firstly, B is a Jinchuriki and a perfect one at that. He is a very important asset to Kumo Gakyo. A perfect Jinchuriki is one of the major fighting power of the village. Kumo Gakyo won't sit still if we killed B and captured the eight tails. Secondly, A is the son of the third Raikage and the candidate for the next Raikage. So, his early death can also lead to Kumo waging a full-scale war on Konoha. Kumo is just fishing in troubled waters for now. But if a full-blown war occurs, Konoha will be flanked from both sides and Iwa and Kumo may join hands together to form an alliance. Also, I don't want this endless cycle of hatred to continue. My dream is to achieve true peace for the world where children don't have to go to war. I nod to Minato as I am pondering over his words. True peace, huh? Even if you achieve true peace in this world, there are many powerful beings out there who can wipe the entire Shinobi world just on a whim. You need absolute strength to achieve true peace. Kaguya failed to achieve true peace as she got corrupted by her immense power and thus thought of an escape method through infinite Tsukuyomi. Also, there are various beings out there who just want to consume the entire world like a parasite just to satiate their hunger for power. Peace is nothing but a pipe dream. You can't satiate everyone's interest, and if a person is provided an opportunity in favor of their interest, they won't even hesitate for even a second to choose the WAE. We return to the camp and start to recover our chakra and stamina. Minato teleports back to the Iwa front. In the afternoon, I rejoin the battle as I move to front lines where a direct confrontation is happening between the forces of Konoha and Kumo. Jutsus are flying left and right as Shinobis are killing each other. Slowly, but surely Konoha is gaining an advantage in the battle. Fire style, great fireball technique. I release a giant fireball as I incinerate many enemies. I draw out my Tanto as I start to attack one enemy after another. Genjutsu, Sharingan. Kenjutsu, Secret Sword Moonlight. I slaughter one enemy after another as I use Genjutsu in conjugation with Kenjutsu. Just like a reaper from the underworld, I start to reap lives one after another. My Genjutsu starts to improve again as enemies fell after another. Fire style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. I cast low-cost chakra ninjutsus one after another. Storm release, Laser Circus. Several beams of energy beams charge my way as I jump to avoid them, but they continue to aim towards me. I immediately some hand signs. Wind release, Vacuum Great Sphere. I inhale a large amount of air as I compress it into a sphere and aims it at the energy beams as I expel it out. Both jutsu collides with each other and cancel each other out. I will be your opponent. A dark-skinned boy with a slightly bulbous nose and black eyes challenged me. He had slightly long white hairs that cover his left eye. He has a black tattoo on his left arm which reads as lightning in kanji. There is another tattoo on his right arm in kanji for water. He carries a broad, foldable, cleaver-like blade on his back. Black lightning. He makes some hand signs as he releases black lightning from his hands. The black lightning crawls towards me at a rapid pace. Wind style, vacuum serial waves. I launch many compressed blades of wind at the approaching black lightning. The blades dissipate the black lightning as they travel towards the enemy. TCH. Water style, water formation wall. He spits out a stream of water at the ground which rises to form a water wall around him. The wind blades collide with the water wall as they deal no major damage to the water wall. After the wall dissipates, the enemy boy jumps out from the water as he draws out his sword and charges towards me. Looks like you are out of chakra. I mock him as I throw a shuriken at him and make some rapid hand signs. Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu. Many shurikens are launched towards the enemy boy as he starts to spin his blade to block the shurikens. He closes the distance between us as he attacks me with his sword. Clang. I block his strike with my Tanto as both of us engage in a sword fight. Clang, clang. We trade many blows as we continue to clash. I parry one of his attacks as I infuse some chakra in my left hand as smash my palm in his gut. He spews out a mouthful of blood as he flies some distance away and passes out. I approach him as I make some hand signs and taps on his glabella. Fuinjutsu, Chakra Sealing Seal. I seal his chakra and throws him at one of Kumo Jounin. The Jounin catches the boy as he looks at me in vexation. I continue to attack other Kumo ninjas as I train my Genjutsu, Taijutsu and Kenjutsu skills. I hope you won't interfere in my fights again, Derue. I spared you once for the sake of future problems, but I won't do it again if you continue to pester me. That boy was Derue. I immediately recognized him by his appearance and jutsus. I summon a chakra blade from one of my storage braces as I infuse it with light chakra. Light style, lightsaber. The blade starts to hum as it vibrates and release intense heat. Time to polish my light jutsu. Light style, camouflage cloak. I cloak my body in light chakra as I turn invisible. The massacre starts again as I slaughter one ninja after another. Kumo ninjas start to panic as they couldn't find their assailant. Many sensor ninjas start to focus their senses as they try to locate me. They can sense my presence but are unable to see my figure. The enemy is invisible, we can't fight him directly. Many Kumo Shinobis join hands as they perform a cooperation jutsu. Storm release, thundercloud in a wave. A thick ring of thunderclouds and electricity starts to gather around me as powerful bolts of lightning strikes at me. My chakra blade acts as a lightning rod as it draws electricity towards me. Fuck. What kind of shit is this? I curse them as I stow back my chakra blade. My escape route is blocked as the lightning clouds act as an electrified perimeter, creating an offensive as well as the defensive ward. I need to escape from this, I have played enough. It's time to stop and get serious. I start to infuse a large amount of chakra in my hands as I start to rapidly make some hand signs. Typhoon release, gust of despair. The air around Arjuna starts to cool and heat rapidly as it blows in a circular motion, stirring the wind movement and forming strong winds which start to condense in a typhoon. The typhoon starts to suck the nearby thunderclouds as it dissipates them. I stood within the eye of the typhoon as I direct it at Kumo ninjas. The Kumo ninjas get blown away by the typhoon as I free myself from their containment. So, this is the power of typhoon release. I wonder at the power of my newly acquired Kekai Genkai. Yes, in this war till now I have acquired 3 Kekai Genkais. I acquired Typhoon Release from an opponent earlier and Storm Release and Black Lightning from Derue. Typhoon Release is a combination of Wind Release and Yang Release. Storm Release is a combination of Lightning Release and Water Release, whereas Black Lightning is a combination of Lightning Release and Yang Release. The Sin Seal activates from my previous jutsu as it starts to suck me dry. I hid behind a rock as I cloak myself in camouflage cloak again. I start to recuperate my chakra as I watch the situation on the battlefield. Boom! A large explosion occurs at a place as my attention is withdrawn by it. The dust and debris clear to show 2 powerful Shinobis confronting each other. Nearby Konoha ninjas start to cheer as they shout. Go, go, White Fang! You can do it! Pierce the strongest shield! The Kumo ninjas also cheer in enthusiasm as they shout. You can beat him, Reikage-sama! We have your back! Go and trim his fangs! So, it finally started, the most awaited battle between 2 commanders of the army. The battle between 2 powerful Shinobis at the peak of their power. I rub my hands in excitement as I look at them in anticipation, because this is a fight that was never mentioned in anime as it never happened. Chapter 47, 47. White Fang vs Third Reikage Part 1. There is immense tension in the atmosphere. A gust of wind blew as hairs of Sakumo Hatake and a flutter. Both of them stares at each other as the ultimate confrontation between them is about to start. Both sides have already fought for 2 days and have suffered a serious loss of manpower and resources. The time to end this fight has come as a face-off between the commanders of both sides will start. If any of the sides are able to gain the absolute advantage over the other or receive reinforcement, then the scales will turn in their favor. Both Sakumo and immediately makes hand signs as they face against each other. Wind style, vacuum serial waves. Lightning style, lightning dragon jutsu. Boom! Both jutsus collide and cancels each other. Lightning release chakra mode. The third Reikage wraps his body in a layer of lightning chakra. His hairs stick up as lightning crackles from his body. His muscles expand as the lightning stimulates his nervous system, thus increasing his speed and reflexes. Lightning release, body flicker. Zoom, whiz. Fast, so fast. I am amazed by his speed as my Sharingan can barely track Third Raikage's movements. The Third Raikage creates a gust of strong wind as he mows through many Konoha ninjas, sending them to the afterlife. Wind style, pressure point bullet. Sakumo inhales a large amount of air as he compresses it into a bullet and fires it toward the Third Raikage. The density of the chakra in the bullet is visible to the naked eye as the compressed air travels at supersonic speed, creating ripples around it. Bam! The bullets slam into Raikage, halting his charge. Some smoke rises from Raikage's body. The smoke clears out to show the perfectly fine body of Raikage. There is no damage to his body, not even a single scratch. The Raikage cracks his neck as he makes some hand signs as black lightning crackles in his hand. Black lightning, Black Panther. The black lightning in his hands condenses into a panther. The panther growls as it charges towards Sakumo. Grow. Sakumo had a serious expression as he makes various hand signs. Wind style, vacuum great sphere. The giant wind sphere entangles the black lightning panther as the panther struggles to free itself from the sphere. The sphere and the panther dissipate altogether. Sakumo pants lightly as he used lots of chakras in his previous jutsu. He takes a deep breath as he gets ready for the next move of the Raikage. The Third Raikage, on the other hand, doesn't even break as much as a single drop of sweat as he easily flays enemies left and right. It becomes clear to Shinobi that the Third Raikage is stronger than the White Fang. Sakumo draws out his white chakra blade and infuses chakra in it. Kenjutsu style, executioner's slash. A large white blade made of chakra attacks the Kumo ninjas as it continues to travel towards the Third Raikage. The Third Raikage tanks the hit with his body as smoke rises from his body. There is no injury on his body, but the impact of the blade pushes him back. The Third Raikage riles up his chakra as his lightning cloak thickens. His muscles and veins pop out as he charges towards Sakumo. Lightning style, lightning straight. He runs towards Sakumo and punches at him with his maximum speed. Sakumo infuses large amounts of chakra in his white chakra blade as the blade turns white and starts to hum. A very thick but fine line of wind chakra coating appears on Sakumo's blade as it collides with Raikage's punch. Sakumo is able to parry the punch as he directs it sideways, thus avoiding the lethal blow. Raikage's punch slams in the nearby ground. An intense shockwave travels through the ground, a large crater is formed at the place of impact. Sakumo jumps in the air to avoid the shockwave as he immediately makes some hand signs. Wind style, compression bomb. He fires a compressed air bomb towards Raikage. The momentum of the jutsu pushes back Sakumo even further as he somersaults and lands on the ground. Raikage just brushes off the jutsu as he makes some hand signs. Earth style, rock spikes. Many rock pikes fire off in Sakumo's direction, who flickers and dodges them. Raikage raises his right hand near his chest as he concentrates an enormous amount of lightning chakra into the fingertips of his hand. That's the ultimate technique of Raikage-sama. The ultimate spear, Hell Stab. Only a few people are aware of the fact that Raikage-sama not only possesses the strongest shield but also the strongest spear. So, Raikage-sama finally decided to use this technique to finish the fight. Raikage-sama's spear is even stronger than his shield. You can see that scar on his chest. It is the result of his fight against Eight Tails, where he fell upon his own hand and stabbed himself in the chest. Yes, this proves that Raikage-sama's spear is even stronger than his shield. I wonder how White Fang will deal with this move of Reikage-sama. White Fang will fall today. No ninja is alive to tell the tale of sharpness of Reikage-sama's spear. The morale of Kumo Shinobis rose as they saw Reikage preparing his ultimate techniques, whereas the morale of Konoha's Shinobis takes a hit as they murmur among themselves. Will Sakumo-san will be fine against the ultimate technique of Reikage? I hope he will be. Izuna has a frown on his face as he sees Reikage's hand. Shall I use my main Gekyo Sharingan to attack him? But I don't have any powerful jutsu capable of harming him. This guy even tanked the Sage Mode Raisin Shuriken of Naruto and even a tailed best bomb from 8 Tails. Naruto has to trick him in stabbing himself. I can't take that risk and get close to him. Meanwhile at Iwa battlefront, Minato successfully destroyed the Kanobi Bridge, thus preventing the invasion of the Iwagakure. Kakashi and Rin stand beside him as he sighs in grief. Kakashi and Rin have tears in their eyes as their teammate Obito died in a confrontation with Iwa ninjas. Kakashi has a fresh vertical scar across his left eye and his left eye is replaced by a Tutomo Sharingan. This Sharingan is a parting gift from his late teammate Obito. Minato tries to convince Rin and Kakashi as he speaks. We must honor Obito's last wish and prevent Iwa ninja from invading Land of Fire. Obito was a brave ninja who sacrificed himself for the sake of his friends. I am sure he wants both of you to fulfill his dream. As Minato is conversing with his team, a special Jounin runs in his direction as he shouts. Minato-san, Minato-san, we have an emergency, Minato-san. Near 1,000 Iwa Shinobis are marching towards the border at 2 o'clock. We need to stop them, Minato-san. The special Jounins breathes heavily as he relays the news to Minato and asks for his help. I will be right there. You just carry my kunai to the battlefront. I will teleport there, after I have finished my matters here. Minato gives one of his signature Trifork kunai to the special Jounin. After receiving the kunai, the Shinobi dash back to borders. Kakashi and Rin, we are in the middle of a war. For now, hold your grief for a while and focus on the battle. I am sure Obito doesn't want both of you to follow in his footsteps and meet him in the afterlife. Kakashi, I have a mission for you. Head to the Kaikyo Pass and assist the squad deployed there in the battle against enemies. The identities of the enemy ninjas are unknown to us. Be careful on your way. Rin assist medical nins in the camp to nurse wounded Shinobis. Yes, sensei. Both Rin and Kakashi wipe their tears as they follow Minato's orders. Minato stares at their back as he mutters. I hope you are doing fine, Izuna. I don't want another of my students to lose their lives in this battle. I don't know how I will answer to Kushina after this battle. She would be sad to hear about the death of Obito. Minato sighs again as he disappears from his spot only to appear on front lines against Iwa. Around 1,000 Iwa Shinobis are lined up as they push back the Konoha's Shinobis. The Konoha Shinobis are in a defensive position as they are somehow holding against the continuous assault of the Iwa ninja. But their defense seems to be crumbling as Iwa ninjas are growing more and more frantic. Minato-san. You are finally here. We need your help in dealing with the Iwa ninjas. At this rate, our defenses will be breached shortly. The captain of the division fills up Minato on the situation of the battlefront. Don't worry, I have arrived just on time. I will deal with them. Minato takes out a storage scroll from his pocket and infuses chakra in the scroll. Chapter 48, 48. White Fang vs Third Reikage Part 2. In the Kumo battlefront. The third Reikage stretches out his right hand as he aims it in Sakumo's direction. The lightning chakra in his hand concentrates at his fingertip as it takes the shape of a sharp spear. Lightning release, body flicker. The Reikage disappears from his spot as he charges towards Sakumo. Sakumo has a pensive expression as he immediately makes many hand signs and slams his hand on the ground. Earth style, multiple mud walls. Earth style, abyssal swamp. Sakumo turns the ground beneath him in a swamp to kill the momentum of third Reikage. The third Reikage dashes through the swamp as his speed is reduced a bit, but he still has his momentum. Hell stab, four-finger nukite. He continues to run across the swamp as his fingers stab and break one wall after the other. His momentum is finally prevented after breaking all the walls. The third Reikage accelerates again as he curls his little finger and stabs towards Sakumo. Hell stab, three-finger nukite. The lightning chakra is now concentrated on three of his fingers and the sharpness and piercing power of the stab is raised by a notch. Swings his hand as he creates a powerful shock wave which sends the nearby Shinobi flying. Sakumo immediately starts to make hand signs as he slams his hand on the ground. Summoning jutsu. A summoning seal appears on the ground and with a puff of smoke, a giant bulldog with a large bone in its mouth appears on the battlefield. You always summons me in a pinch, Sakumo. The dog growls. Quick, form a shield with the bone, we don't have enough time to chit-chat. Sakumo reminds the bulldog. The bulldog snorts at Sakumo as he throws the bone from his mouth on the ground. Thud. The bone lands on the ground as it expands to form a wall. Boom. The third Reikage stabs his fingers in the bone as the bone starts to tremble, but it held on. The recoil from the bone pushes the Reikage back as he somersaults to shrug it off. The third Reikage starts to concentrate chakra in his fingers as he curls three of his fingers as he points his index finger towards Sakumo and bends his body back to rile up his chakra clock. He prepares to charge again. We need to stop him, Butch, or it won't fare well for us. The bulldog opens its large mouth as he starts to inhale a large amount of air. Sakumo also starts to make hand signs. Fire release, dragon flame jutsu. Wind release, vacuum blast barrage. Cooperation jutsu, fire dragon god flame. The intensity of the heat rose on the battlefield as heat rises to an unbelievable level. Nearby ninjas start to sweat profusely from the heat as their sweat evaporated instantly. The third Reikage charges at Sakumo as he ignored the intense heat from the jutsu. Lightning release, lightning straight. The skin of the third Reikage turns brown from the heat as his hairs start to burn. Despite the intense heat, Reikage continues to close the gap between them. Hell stab, one-finger nukite. The concentration of chakra on his finger is so great that it extends well beyond the finger in a lone point. Crack. His finger finally stabs in the bone as cracks start to appear on the bone. The bone is barely able to hold against the stab, but a spider-like crack appears on its frame. What a monster! The thigh bone of the sage ancestor. The giant bulldog cries in surprise at the crack. The third Reikage is jerked back by the recoil as he pants heavily while lying on the ground. Sakumo is also thrown back by the momentum of the attack. Except for a few burns here and there, no scratch or wound is present on his body. Sakumo also starts to pant as he too has exhausted all of his chakra in the previous exchange. The third Reikage starts to stand up as he cloaks his body in lightning chakra cloak. The third Reikage has recovered from the last attack and he still has enough chakra to spare. Lightning release chakra mode. He flickers in front of Sakumo as he attacks him. Lightning release, lariat. You were a worthy opponent, White Fang. You pushed me to my limits. But for the future of my village, I have to cull you here. Big Ball Rasengan. Boom. At the Iowa battlefront. Boom. A large boulder smash in the ground. Rocks and dust are flung away as Konoha's Shinobi takes cover in a ditch. Minato looks at the situation as he infuses chakra into the chakra scroll. Various Trifork kunais appears on the ground. Everyone, please pick a kunai from the ground, Minato orders them. Just a little more now and we can end this. One of the Jounins cheers his teammates. Let's do this in one sweep. Another Jounin shout. Everyone, please throw these kunais at the enemy's side concurrently. Afterward, I will take care of the rest by myself. Minato reminds the remaining ninjas as he turns to face the army of Iowa ninjas. One of the Jounin gulps as he asks in trepidation. Will it work? If it won't work, then we are a goner. The Jounin commander of the team interrupts him as he speaks. We will be able to see Konoha's yellow flash in action now. Don't blink, even for a second. Yes, sir. All of them shouts in unison. Minato crosses his index fingers together as he shouts at his team. Throw the kunais now. All the Konoha's Shinobis throw the kunais towards the Iowa ninjas as Minato murmurs. Spiraling Flash Super Round Dance Howl Style 3. Various shadow clone of Minato appears and disappears instantly as a yellow lightning flash is produced from the jutsu. Clang, clang, clang. Various metals sound echoed in the surroundings as various bolts of yellow lightning flashes one after another. One of the Konoha ninjas gulps his saliva as he complains. I can't see a thing except for the yellow flashes of lightning. What's going on? The Jounin commander nods his head as he explains. Me neither. This is the reason why Minato is called the Yellow Flash. While using the Flying Thunder God Jutsu created by the second Hokage Sama, Minato's speed is so fast that he only appears as a yellow flash in enemies' eyes. So, this is the power of Yellow Flash. Fearsome, truly fearsome. Another Jounin praises Minato. Looks like the real action has just started now. The Jounin commander looks at the battlefield as he exclaims. Multiple Rasengan appears on the battlefield as shadow clones start to bombard the enemy ninjas. Boom, boom, boom. Dust and debris rise in the air as one explosion after another occurs on the field. After 5 minutes of continuous bombarding, silence returns to the surroundings. Minato walks out of the dust while breathing heavily. He is drenched in sweat as he takes support against a boulder. Huff, huff, this technique is too much chakra taxing. I have to think of ways to improve the chakra usage in this technique. I have dealt with the situation here. Go and support the 2nd Division, they seem to be in a pinch. It will take me some time to recover my chakra. I will join you guys shortly. Minato orders them as he slowly recovers his chakra. Minato rests against the boulder as he starts to contemplate on the battle. In the past 2 days, the tides of battle have turned in Konoha's favor. His team has successfully destroyed the Kanobi Bridge, thus foiling the invasion plan of Iwagakure. Fugaku-san with his clan members has successfully annihilated one of the divisions of the enemy all by themselves. The Uchiha clan is feared in the entire Shinobi world for its high combat prowess. And today, he successfully repelled the attack of 1,000 Shinobis. Now, they have to await the situation to turn around on the Kumo battlefront. In the Land of Stone, beside a rocky mountain range. In one of the tallest structure with a cone-shaped roof and a giant symbol in kanji for earth. A short, old man with a triangular beard and mustache with angular corners sat on Sashikichi's seat. The man had a big red nose and thick eyebrows with a bald head. He wore a green and yellow coat with a red collar. The Sashikichi slams his hand on the armrest of the seat after reading the latest intel from the field. He yells loudly as he curses. Damn! Konoha! Looks like I have to personally participate in the war. My Iwa has suffered major losses in this war. This won't do, I have to get back at Konoha for this. Prepare for my departure, I will annihilate those Konoha bastards. Sashikichi-sama, the Elder Council demands a meeting with you. They want an answer from you regarding the loss of manpower on the battlefield. One of his assistants hurriedly reports to him. The Sashikichi starts to float in the air as he flies in the direction of the battlefield. Tell to those senile geezers, I will personally handle the situation. Chapter 49, Professor vs Fence Sitter Part 1. Hokage-sama, Hokage-sama. It is an emergency, Hokage-sama. One of the Jounin from the logistics department quickly enters the Hokage office as he frantically speaks to Hiruzen. Calm down and slowly report me the latest intel. Hiruzen tries to calm the Shinobi. There is an emergency, Hokage-sama. Our sensor unit has detected the chakra of third Sashikichi quickly approaching in the proximity of the battlefield. The Jounin reports to Hiruzen. Looks like that fence-sitter Onaki has finally decided to make a move. The pressure created by Minato must have forced his hand. I need to move to the battlefield to intercept him. If he goes on a rampage with his dust release, I am afraid we will suffer many casualties. Inform the logistics department about my absence and allow Shikaku to handle the command of our forces. Hiruzen jumps out of the window and disappears from Jounin's vision. At the Iwa battlefront. A short old man floats in the air as he looks at the battlefield with many Konoha Shinobi fighting against Iwa Shinobis. He clapped his hands as he infused a large amount of chakra in between his palms. A small transparent cube made of chakra appears in between his palm. He aims the cube at Konoha's forces and releases it towards them. Dust release, detachment of the primitive world technique. The cube engulfs the entire Konoha's force as many ninjas start to dissipate. Boom! The cubes explode within, containing the explosion of the blast within the confines of the cube. After the jutsu ends, a large cuboidal crater forms on the ground. There are no remains of the Konoha ninjas as they are pulverized into minute particles of dust. It's the Sashikichi-sama. He has finally arrived on the battlefield. We can reverse the situation around now. With Sashikichi-sama leading the fight, we can easily obliterate the Konoha forces and secure victory in the war. Yes, Sashikichi-sama is the strongest Kage among all of current Kage. With his dust release, he can easily pulverize any enemy to dust. Fervent discussions rose among Iwa ninjas as they excitedly cheer for Sashikichi. Their previous bottom rock morale gained a large boost. Onaki leads Iwa ninja forward as they continue to slaughter Konoha ninjas. This situation is looking pretty bad. At this rate, we will lose most of our people. Contact the headquarters, I want to know the status of our backup. The commander of the division ordered the logistics unit. We have received the latest intel from headquarters just now. Shikakunara is the new acting commander of the entire Shinobi force of Konoha. Hokage-sama is on his way to the battlefield. He will intercept the Sashikichi soon. One of the Yamanaka clan members informed him. The commander of the division heaved a sigh in relief as he mutters. I hope Hokage-sama will make it on time, otherwise we will lose a lot of people. Gaichi-sama, it is an emergency Gaichi-sama. The Iwa forces are almost near our camp. The Sashikage is leading them and he is about to unleash dust release on us. One of the Jounin frantically informed him. Gaichi rushed out of the camp and reaches the front lines. A short bald old man is floating in the air. The old man cups his hands as he starts to mold chakra between his palms. A cone-shaped transparent white chakra construct appears in his hand as he directs it towards the Konoha's camp. The chakra construct starts to expand with a small white sphere in between it. As he is about to fire it at Konoha's camp, a large shuriken comes spinning his way. Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu. Various clones of the Fuma Shuriken are launched in Onaki's direction. Onaki stops his channeling as he floats sideways to avoid the shurikens. Dust release is a very powerful ninjutsu, but it has only one weakness. The technique takes too much time to channel and release. But once the technique is fired, it will obliterate everything in its way. The best way to fight against dust release is to use another dust release technique. Else you can only interrupt the casting of the jutsu as it requires a certain amount of preparation time. Onaki floats above the shurikens as he looks at the newcomer. So, you decided to join the battle too, Hiruzen. You want to stop me? Then let's see the strength of the Shinobi hailed as God of Shinobi. I can't allow you to rampage freely on the battlefield now, can I? Hiruzen answered to Onaki as he stood in between Onaki and Konoha's camp. Very well, then let's fight. Earth style, Earth Golem Jutsu. Onaki spews out a large number of rocks from his mouth. The rocks start to condense together to form a large, humanoid creature. Onaki jumps on top of the golem as he claps his hands together. Hiruzen bits his thumb as he makes some hand signs and slams his hand on the ground. Summoning Jutsu, Monkey King Enma. A tall monkey with white fur appears on the battlefield. The monkey has white hair and goatee. He wore a black suit with mesh armor underneath it. So, your time to battle has come. Let's do it. Enma, handle that golem, while I fight with Onaki. Hiruzen makes some hand signs and slams his hands on the ground. Earth style, Mud Flow River. A large muddy river appears beneath the golem as it starts to sweep the golem away. Enma jumps towards the golem and punches the golem. Earth style, Moving Earth Core. Onaki moves a large chunk of earth from the ground which rises to form a large pedestal. This disrupts the flow of the muddy river. Hiruzen makes some hand signs. Earth style, Earth Dragon Bullet. A giant dragon of mud rises from the muddy river and starts to fire mud bullets at the golem. Fire release, Fire Dragon Flame Bullet. Hiruzen coats the mud bullets in the fire to increase their damage. The mud golem is pushed back and various holes appear on its surface. The dragon continues to fire bullets at the golem. Earth style, Rumbling Mount Fuji. A massive boulder drops from the sky as it crushes the mud dragon and starts to violently shake the ground. The mud river is filled up with rocks as the boulder continues to crumble. The commotion draws the attention of nearby Shinobi as they look at this with gaping eyes. Before the dust and debris could settle, Onaki claps his hands together and forms a white transparent chakra cube with a sphere in its center. He immediately fires the construct in the direction of the boulder as the cube engulfs everything and pulverizes them to dust. What a powerful technique! Our Sashikage-sama is the most powerful ninja. One of the Iwa ninja cheers. I hope Hokage-sama is fine. That was a very powerful jutsu. Konoha ninjas mutter in worry. Earth release, double suicide decapitation technique. Large arms made of earth erupt from the ground as they grab Golem's legs and drag into the earth. The Golems struggle to remain on the ground, but the arms eventually pull it into the ground. Water release, drowning murder. Large amounts of water engulf the Golem starts to turn into the mud, it eventually turns into clay and dissipates. Onaki jumps from Golem as he floats in the air and starts to search for Hiruzen. Hiruzen pops out from Earth at a different place and faces against Onaki. Onaki immediately makes some hand signs. Lava release, ash stone seal technique. Onaki spews out a thick cloud of ash from his mouth which wraps around Hiruzen, sealing him in the place. Lava release, quicklime congealing technique. Onaki spews out a large amount of quicklime from his mouth. Quicklime travels towards Hiruzen as it starts to surround him and fuse with the ash stone to further harden the rock and trap Hiruzen firmly in the seal. Onaki claps his hands together as he starts to construct a chakra cube in his hands and aim it towards Hiruzen. Dust release, detachment of the primitive world technique. The chakra cube starts to expand as it is fired in Hiruzen's direction. Goodbye, God of Shinobi. Your days ends here. My Iwa will forever rule the Shinobi world. Enma. Hiruzen yells loudly. The monkey summon of Hiruzen turns into a long black rod with golden rims at the edges as it starts to spin and launch in Hiruzen's direction. The rod form of Monkey King Enma crashes into the ground as dust and debris rise. Shortly, the dust release jutsu arrives at the place as it explodes and starts to pulverize everything into dust. The explosion lasts for a while as a large cube-shaped crater appears on the ground at the previous position of Hiruzen. No trace of Hiruzen is found anywhere. Onaki looks at the crater and smirks. My Iwa has finally achieved victory in this war. Now, it is time to invade the land of fire. Chapter 50, Professor vs Fence Sitter Part 2. A large adamantine staff extends from the clouds of dust and debris and stabs Onaki in the gut. Onaki is thrown back by the force of the staff and smash into a nearby hill. Transformation, adamantine staff. Hiruzen, don't ask me to do that again. I almost vaporized from that jutsu. Enma rebukes as he recalls the previous encounter. He almost lost his life. Flashback. Hiruzen, who was sealed in the ash stone jutsu, shouts to Enma. Enma uses the transformation, adamantine staff, to turn into a long adamantine staff and smash open the seal. Hiruzen immediately used the Earth-style, underground voyage, to quickly travel beneath the ground and travel out of the reach of the dust release jutsu. Hiruzen and Enma heave a sigh of relief as they recall the previous encounter. Onaki is pinned on the hill as he pukes out a mouthful of blood. Onaki grits his teeth and digs his fingers in the hill. Earth release, ultra-lightweight rock technique. He starts to uproot the hill and aims it towards Hiruzen and throws the hills. Earth release, ultra-added weight rock technique. The jaws of every ninja drop at this scene as the hill launch off to Hiruzen. Hiruzen makes a hand sign as he mutters. Multiple shadow clone jutsu. 4 clones of Hiruzen appear on the battlefield. All clones simultaneously start to make hand signs. 5 release great combo technique. The clones together with Hiruzen fire 5 different elemental-based attacks on the boulder. The powerful impact from 5 elemental attacks immediately annihilates the boulder. The shadow clones turn into large Fuma shurikens as they spin and launch off in Onaki's direction. Hiruzen makes some more hand signs. Shuriken Shadow Clone Technique. The 4 shuriken turns into multiple shurikens as they blast towards Onaki. Onaki makes some hand signs as he slams his hand on the ground. Earth Release, Rock Wall. A giant rock wall blocks all of the shurikens as the wall crumbles from the impact. Onaki suddenly appears above Hiruzen as he coats his hand with rocks. Earth Release, Fist Rock Technique. Earth Release, Added Weight Rock Technique. He smashes his fist which is covered in rocks towards Hiruzen. Enma. The adamantine staff returns to Hiruzen as he blocks the attack from Onaki. Onaki increases the weight as he shouts. Earth Release, Ultra Added Weight Rock Technique. The force from the attack pushes Hiruzen back as his legs bend. But Hiruzen is able to hold himself up against the relentless strike of Onaki. Crack, crack. Cracks start to appear on the rocks coated on Onaki's fist as the rocks start to crumble. Hiruzen makes use of this opportunity and swings a kick towards Onaki. Onaki raises his left hand and coats it in rocks to block the kick, but the impulse from the kick sends him flying away. Onaki somersaults in the air for a while. He gains a stable balance after a while as he floats in the air. Your title as the god of Shinobi is true to your power. But I can't turn back now, there is too much on stake. Onaki clasps his hands together as he forms a chakra cube with a white sphere in his hands. Before Hiruzen could interrupt the jutsu, 2 rock clones of Onaki attacks him with a rock fist technique. Hiruzen swings the adamantine staff and breaks them in half. Meanwhile, Onaki completes the jutsu as he fires off 2 different smaller cubes from his hands. The cubes surround Hiruzen as they began to enclose him from both sides. Hiruzen starts to make multiple hand signs. His 2 shadow clones join him. Sealing technique, 3 directions seal. A large triangle seal appears on the ground which surrounds Hiruzen to form a large triangular barrier. The dust release jutsu collides with the barrier as the barrier starts to absorb the jutsu. Dust release, in turn, starts to dissipate the barrier. A large dust cloud rises in the air from the collision of 2 jutsus as a large gust of wind blow. After the dust settles, the barrier around Hiruzen is barely present. However, the barrier is able to prevent the dust release from harming Hiruzen. Hiruzen heaves a sigh of breath and dissipates the barrier. Give up, Sushikage. There is no further point in our fight. We will only further exhaust each other's strength and allow someone else to strike us down. Hiruzen remarks as he looks at an exhausted Onaki. Humph. Onaki snorts and flies in the direction of Iwagakure. Hiruzen also starts to return to Konoha as he takes a last glance at the battlefield. If this continues, Konoha won't be able to hold its own anymore. I have to write a letter to the Kazekage for assistance. I am sure the newly appointed 4th Kazekage will favor peace over war. Also, I have to talk with council members to sign a peace treaty with Iwagakure. Sigh, so much work to do. I just want to retire and relax in my old age. Hiruzen runs in Konoha's direction as he contemplates over his plans. At the Kumo battlefront. Big Ball Rasengan. A large Rasengan slams into the gut of 3rd Raikage. 3rd Raikage is sent flying by the impact as he crashes into a nearby boulder. He coughs a mouthful of blood as he looks at his assailant. There is no external injury on his body, but the previous attacks did some internal damage to his organs. 3rd Raikage spots a kid with Sharingan staring at him. There is smoke rising from the kid's palm as it is stretched outwards. Who are you, kid? From those eyes, you are a part of the Uchiha clan. It isn't wise for you to interfere in the battle between adults. Third Raikage slowly stands up as he places one of his hands on his stomach. The third Raikage looks curiously at Izuna as he inspects him. Strange, I wasn't able to see the kid arrive in front of White Fang. The kid just popped out of thin air. What kind of technique this kid used? Flashback. When Izuna saw Sakumo being tossed by Raikage, he immediately uses his light style camouflage cloak to hide his presence as he starts to make a big ball Rasengan. He slowly creeps up to Sakumo. When Raikage reaches near to finish him off, he uses this opportunity to smash the Rasengan in Raikage's gut. The Raikage just spins and crashes into a boulder. There is no sign of any injury on his body. Damn! This monster! What is his hide made of? Not even a scratch from Big Ball Rasengan. That's a Big Ball Rasengan for fuck's sake. I am Izuna Uchiha. Uncle Sakumo is my benefactor and teacher. I won't allow any harm to come upon him. Izuna takes out a kunai as he is ready to engage the third Raikage. If the situation turns from bad to worse, then he can just use his main Gekyo Sharingan and release Limbo on third Raikage together with the Sin Seal. He still doesn't know what are the risks involved with the Sin Seal. But he is ready to take the risk. He has family and friends in this life and he wants to protect them. Izuna is ready to activate his main Gekyo Sharingan to fight third Raikage. But the third Raikage stands up and starts to walk away from them. He turns around and speaks to Izuna. Kid, I can see the determination in your eyes. Standing against an opponent with no chance to win. You can either be a fool or a strong-willed person. I hope you aren't the former one. Third Raikage retreats to his camp as he enters his tent. The medic starts to tend his charred skin as he applies an ointment on it. After the medic left his tent, third Raikage unclenches his fist and puke out a mouthful of blood. I have underestimated the damage dealt by that kid's jutsu. I have to take rest for a while. I never expected to see such a powerful jutsu being used by a kid. This reminds me of Derue. I have to check up on that kid too. The third Raikage wipes blood from his mouth and stands up and walks out of his tent to meet with Derue. Meanwhile, in Konoha's camp, a medic is tending to Sakumo's wounds as Sakumo lays on a bed. There are some bandages wrapped around Sakumo's body. Ignoring his injuries, Sakumo stares in front of him. Izuna stands in front of Sakumo with a tense expression as Sakumo scolds him. Kid, do you know who your opponent was? I am sure you knew about him when you confronted him. But let me reinstate your memory, he is dubbed as the strongest shield of the Shinobi world, the strongest Raikage of all times. What would have happened if he decides to attack you? Let me tell you, you would have been dead before you could blink. I am honestly surprised by your guts. Thanks, Uncle Sakumo. Izuna smiles sheepishly as he looks at Sakumo. That wasn't a compliment. But from now onwards, don't repeat such an action. Also, I am the commander of division here, so call me as such. I don't want anyone to think of it as favoritism. Now go back to your camp. You did well today. Izuna starts to walk towards the exit of the tent. He stops and turns towards Sakumo as he smiles at him and dashes out of the tent. This kid. Sakumo sighs as he rests on the bed. Chapter 51, 51. Intercepting the supplies. The war continues for the next few days. Tsunegakyo joined the war after the letter from Konohigakyo. The war turns in Konoha's favor as Iwagakure is pushed back even further. Konoha gains control over the majority of the Kusagakure. Only a final push is required to score the victory. However, things change with the interference of Kirigakure. Konoha is now flanked from 3 sides and one of the divisions from the Iwagakure battlefront is sent to the Kirigakure battlefront to intercept them. Meanwhile, at Kumo battlefront with both commanders sent out of the equation, the situation calmed down a little. The fervor of both sides cooled down a little. I got the opportunity to battle again. With the use of light-style jutsu, I nearly become unstoppable. Apparently, Kumogakure prepared a separate sensor unit to track me and another Kekai Genkai team to deal with them. But I am too slippery to be caught by them. This cat and mouse came with a great harvest for me. I successfully learned 2 more Kekai Genkai nature transformations. I got to learn shock release and swift release Kekai Genkais. They are 2 of the rarest nature transformations. Shock release is a combination of lightning release and earth release. It is a very powerful nature transformation as the user can create shock waves and tremors through the earth. The user can create earthquakes and avalanches by utilizing more lightning chakra in the jutsu and electrocuting the ground and generate seismic waves. A very handy jutsu when fighting on the ground or against earth-style users who like to hide underground. Swift release is more practical and is essentially the nature transformation I needed the most. It is a combination of lightning's release and wind release. By just coating my body in swift release chakra, the speed of my body reaches beyond the speed any single element could produce on its own. My body and senses are still not used to this speed. The very first time I used this nature transformation, I was overwhelmed by the speed and crashed into a boulder. Sharingan proves to be a huge boon here. I can keep track of my surroundings with it, but my reflexes can't keep up. I need to train my body a bit more. I believe I will easily become one of the fastest ninja alive after I gained 100% proficiency in the swift release. The third ninja war isn't a war of ninja tactics or strategies. It is a war of Kekai Genkais. Most of the ninja involved in the war has at least one Kekai Genkai. This provides them a massive advantage against non-Kekai Genkai users. It is part of the reason why many Kekai Genkai clans and individuals were hunted by other ninjas after the war ended in the original story. Kekai Genkai users are feared by others and out of jealousy, they committed a large-scale genocide after the war. Time to test these new Kekai Genkais I obtained from the Kumogakure ninjas. The battlefield is still the best training ground for me. After the continuous killing spree in the previous few days, the meaning of life has twisted in my mind. I look at my blood-soaked hands and sigh as once these hands saved many lives in my previous world. I was a doctor there and now a killer here. What is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of death? Such questions start to pop out in my mind. I have lived once and even died once. Maybe after this war, I will able to figure out the true meaning of life. I shake my hand to remove distracting thoughts as I focus on the enemy team. A squad of 20 Kumo ninjas is traveling through the forest as they carry supplies to the enemy camp. My task is to intercept them and steal their supplies. After both sides lack resources and any extra supply will greatly preserve the fighting prowess of our village. Sharingan. I activate my Sharingan and draw out my chakra blade. Light release, light saber. My chakra blade turns blue from the heat as it hums and produce high-intensity heat. I bend my body as I get ready to attack the Kumo group. Swift release, Godspeed. Whiz, swish. I disappear from my place as my body becomes a blur, and even my after images are blurred by my speed. This incredible speed paired with my perception turns me into an almost invisible killer. There is only one downside of this jutsu: I can't turn around at such speed. Though there is no tunnel vision for me, still I have to improve my technique to the next level. Swish, swish. My chakra blade sliced one enemy after another. By the time any of them could respond, I have already sent half of them to the afterlife. My momentum died after a while as I appeared in front of them. Swift release, that's a swift release user. Who is this guy? We have no intel on him. One of the enemy ninjas cries in exasperation. Wait, those eyes, Sharingan. He is an Uchiha clan member of Konoha. But there is no record of any Uchiha with swift release. Another ninja shouts incredulously. Wait, that's not important now. For now, we have to stop him from stealing our supplies. Another ninja reminds them. While they were yelling their monologue, I have infused enough chakra in my hands as I slam them on the ground. Shock release, ground splitter. I slam my hand on the ground as the earth splits apart and engulfs 5 more ninjas. The ground closely shortly leaving no sign of the buried ninja. Using the Kekai Genkai nature transformation is much efficient than base elemental attacks. The chakra taxation is a little high, but nothing major I can't handle without triggering the Sin Seal. Only 5 ninjas remained on the enemy side. At this point, they are terrified of him. I spot a girl among them which seems familiar to me. The girl has dark skin and green eyes. She has light grey hair tied into a bun with 2 bangs that fall on either side of her face. She wore the standard kunoichi outfit of Kumogakyo with black sandals. One of the remaining ninjas shouts to the girl. Mabi, use your technique to transfer the supply to the camp. We can't allow it to fall in enemies' hands. Yes, leader. I won't allow our enemies to benefit from our supplies. Mabi makes a ram hand seal as a blinding light engulfs the supplies and the supplies turn into a bolt of lightning as it travels through the sky. Heavenly transfer technique. No, you don't. Izuna shouts as he uses swift release to appear before them. Before he could strike them, the supplies vanish from the field as they shoot off towards Kumo camp. Mabi slumps on the ground as she ran out of chakra. The Kumo ninja cheers in elation as they successfully transferred the supplies. However, their elation soon turns in horror as they look at an angry Izuna. Izuna has an angry expression as he looks at Kumo ninjas. He has failed his mission as the Kumo ninjas were successful in transporting the supplies. Izuna points his blade at Kumo ninjas as his blade coats in lightning chakra. A high concentration of lightning chakra gathers on the chakra blade as the sound of many chirping birds echoes in the air. I will be borrowing your technique for a while, Kakashi-senpai. Lightning release, Chidori lightning cutter. Gate of opening open, Izuna even opens the first gate to increase his speed. He is pretty pissed on the failure of his mission and needs to vent his anger and frustration. These Kumo shinobis happen to be his enemies. Whiz. Swoosh. Izuna disappears in Kumo shinobi's vision. He reappears before them for a brief second before he disappears again. One after another he kills the remaining 4 Kumo ninjas. His rage has calmed down a bit as he looks at Mabi who defenselessly laid on the ground. I will spare your life for now. Don't cross my path again in this war. Your rakeage spared my life once and I will return the favor. But if you thought of facing me again, then I won't be merciful next time. Izuna leaves Mabi as he flickers back to Konoha's camp. Inside the Kumo camp, one of the Jounin commander shouts in anger as he complains. What happened to our supplies? Why are they so late? Mabi is supposed to arrive with them. She will use her transportation technique to send Reikage-sama back to Kumogakure to meet with elders. Before he could speak further, a bolt of lightning shots towards his camp as it smashes into his tent and destroys it. Enemy attack. Prepare for combat. Nearby Kumo Shinobi goes on alert as they warily look at their commander's camp. Calm down, everyone. It is just our supplies. The Jounin commander walks out from the camp as he held on to their supplies. We have an emergency. Our supply team is intercepted by enemies. Go and search for them. The Jounin commander orders his subordinates as he looks towards the forest. I hope you are fine, my daughter. Chapter 52, Peace Treaty. In the meeting room in Konoha, various elders and advisors fervently discuss together regarding the next move in battle. The involvement of Kirigakure has greatly pressured Konoha. Involvement of Tsunegakure on behalf of Konoha has greatly alleviated pressure from Iwagakure side. So, the village could deploy one of their units to Kirigakure battlefront. The discussion lasts for a while as Hiruzen taps on the table to gather their attention. I have decided to sign a peace treaty with Iwagakure, he announces to all the council members. Hiruzen, you can't decide on such an important decision on your own. We must fork out some benefits from Iwa in this war before we negotiate for peace. We have suffered way too much loss in this war to handle the peace so lightly. One of the council members rebukes Hiruzen. Hiruzen, if we cooperate with Tsunegakure, then we can eliminate most of the power of Iwagakure and even gain control of Kusagakure. With so many resources, our Konoha will surely prosper in the future. Another council member suggested. Hiruzen, your foolish decision will end with Konoha's loss for no reason. You are naive. Hiruzen. Did you really believe in the so-called peace treaty of yours? It is nothing but a pipe dream of yours. Only absolute strength can bring true peace. You are too soft, Hiruzen. Danza rebukes Hiruzen as he disagrees with the notion of peace. Further discussions start once again as council members present their opinions to Hiruzen. Hiruzen slams his hand on the table to seek their attention as he yells. Enough! I have already sent Inoshikocho Trio with my peace letter to Iwagakure battlefront. I am sure by now they would have delivered the letter. I won't hear any further discussions about this matter anymore. If you don't have any other issues, then I dismiss this meeting. Hiruzen walks out of the meeting room despite the protest of council members. At Iwa battlefront, Inoichi, Chisa and Shikaku arrive at a small gulf between Land of Fire, Land of Stone, and Land of Wind. Shikaku takes out a scroll from his pocket and throws it towards the Jounin commander of Iwagakure. Accept this from the Hokage-sama. Deliver it to Sashikage-sama and relay to him, we desire an immediate response. The Jounin commander pockets the scroll as he smirks at the trio and shouts. We will give you your answer right here. It is a great opportunity for them to kill the famous trio of Konoha and secure an advantage against Konoha. All of the Iwa Shinobis raise their kunais as they prepare to attack the trio. Sometimes it's best not to be so hasty. A voice interrupts their attack as all of them turns towards the source of the voice. A man with auburn hairs and dark eyes stood on a dune near the Land of Wind border. He wore a simple black jacket with mesh armor underneath. A small canister is strapped to his hip. He crossed his hands in front of his chest as he leads lots of Suna Shinobis with him. The Iwa Jounin commander trembles in fear as he speaks. The fourth Kazekage. Why is the hidden sand here? Another ninja questions as he looks at Kazekage in fear. This is the hidden sand territory. It would be unwise to have an incident occur here. The sand will move accordingly as the sand. Remember that, whatever you decide to do. The fourth Kazekage orders his men as all of them gets ready to intercept Iwagakure forces. Scatter. The Iwagakure Jounin commander orders his men as all of them flickers and retreats from the battlefront. You have our thanks, Kazekage-sama. Shikaku thanks the fourth Kazekage as he bows in gratitude to him. That's what we agreed upon. I, together with my forces, will oversee the successful fulfillment of the peace treaty, and if any incidents were to happen, I would take action in the circumstances. The fourth Kazekage reassures Shikaku as he retreats with his forces. Inside the Iwagakure meeting room, many council members of Iwa gathered around a round table as they discuss the prospect of entering in a peace treaty with Konoha. What about the request to enter the peace treaty with Konoha? One of the council members asks. Naturally it will be turned down. Another council member strongly refutes the prospect. Silence. Third Sashikage Onaki bellows as he silences all of the council members. I am proud of the unity of the stone. With the pride on our line, we sent 1,000 of our Shinobi to invade the land of fire. And I hear that it took just one of them, the Yellow Flash, to stop the invasion. I engaged with their Hokage in a one-on-one duel and could only end with a tie in battle. With such combat prowess in Konoha's arsenal, our chances of a successful invasion are almost negligible. And that's the reality of it. Our best choice would be to accept the peace treaty and recuperate from our losses. This war has further pushed our land of stone into poverty. It will take long before Iwagakure would be able to return to its former glory. Onaki folds his arms as he agrees with the peace treaty. Write a peace agreement now and deliver it to Konoha. Also, order all of our forces to retreat from the border. The war is over, at least for us. Onaki floats out of the meeting room as he ignores the ugly expression of council members. At Kirigakure battlefront, Minato arrives with a squad to save Kakashi and Rin from Kirigakure ninjas. He arrives on the scene only to see a fainted Kakashi with the dead body of Rin. Minato closes his eyes in grief as a drop of tear drips from his eyes. He quickly hides his tears as he starts to scout the nearby area. After a while, Minato starts to check the body of Rin to find the cause of her death. He notices a gaping hole near Rin's heart and traces of lightning chakra. The hand of Kakashi is covered in lots of blood, and it didn't take too long for Minato to conclude the cause of Rin's death. He starts to inspect Rin's body and notices a sealing formula on her body. Faint traces of tailed beast chakra emits from Rin's body as they dissipate into the surroundings. Minato clenches his fist as he figures out the plan of Kirigakure from his observation. Kirigakure kidnapped Rin and sealed the three tails inside her. They planned to unleash the three tails on Konoha through Rin. To save her village, Rin jumped in front of Kakashi's lightning cutter and died by his hands rather than betraying the village. He looks around at the corpses of many Kirigakure. After looking for a while, he still cannot figure out the reason for their deaths. Minato lifts Kakashi and carries him on his shoulders as he moves towards the camp. The invasion plan of Kirigakure has failed and all of their forces start to retreat to their village. Minato wraps up everything and prepares to depart back to the village and report to Hokage about the incidents regarding Three Tails. This incident is too big of an issue to be ignored. The involvement of Three Tails in the fray adds way too many complications to the matter. He lays Kakashi inside the camp as he teleports to Konoha. Outside the camp, various rumors regarding Kakashi spreads. Many Shinobi calls Kakashi as the friend killer Kakashi who killed his teammate for the sake of a mission. The rumors eventually reach the ears of other units as it becomes a nickname for Kakashi. At Kumo battlefront, Izuna has become a god of death as he continues to slaughter various Kumo Shinobis relentlessly. The Kumo ninjas have given him the nickname of Silent Shinigami, as Izuna silently appears on the battlefield without alerting any ninja and reaps the lives of his enemies. Another Uchiha clan has become famous on the battlefield together with the unseen Shinigami. He is dubbed as the teleporter by the Kumo ninjas. His speed and proficiency with the body flicker technique is to such an extent that he appears teleporting on the battlefield rather than flickering. This duo has wreaked havoc among Kumo forces. Third Raikage and White Fang has returned to the front lines, and they have clashed many times during this period. None of the forces can get an advantage over the other. Kumo has the advantage of the quality of the ninjas with lots of Kekai Genkai users. Konoha has the advantage in numbers and their almost flawless tactics, which turn the situation around during dire straits. Kumo had a headache dealing with this situation. They aimed to fish in the troubled water, but somehow they have turned into the bait for the very same fish they are supposed to catch. Chapter 53, 53. End of the Third Shinobi War. Inside a private room beside Hokage's office, Hiruzen sits with his former team members, Danza, Homura, and Koharu. A scroll lies on a table in front of them as Hiruzen opens the scroll and reads its contents aloud. Iwagakure has agreed to our request of the peace treaty. The war has officially ended on the Iwagakure battlefront. Well done. Homura praises Hiruzen. We can breathe a sigh of relief for a while. Koharu also agrees with the prospect. Danza interrupts the conversation as he addresses them. Are you satisfied with an agreement like this? We have lost most of our forces in the war to achieve nothing. Continuing the war any further would be disastrous for the already exhausted Hidden Leaf. It's a step towards finding common ground. Also, we have yet to deal with Kumogakure, and this ceasefire by Iwagakure will spare our forces to engage against Hidden Cloud. Hiruzen presents his opinion as he debates with Danza. Danza slams his hand on the table as he questions Hiruzen. How will you take responsibility for this? Your incompetency made Konoha suffer from heavy losses. You need to give a suitable answer to the masses. I intend to step down as the third Hokage and have the fourth Hokage installed. Hiruzen answers to Danza's question as he looks out of the window at the sculpted faces of Hashirama and Tobirama. Sensei, it's time for me to pass the will of fire to the next generation. I hope Konoha will continue to prosper under the rule of the next Hokage. It's time for me to retire. Hiruzen sighs as he walks out of the guest room. He enters the Hokage's office as he signals one of the Anbu. Pass this message to Shikaku. Iwagakure has agreed with the peace treaty. Ask our forces to retreat from Iwa battlefront and provide backup at Kumo battlefront. It is time for us to end this battle. Also, inform Minato Namikaze to meet me as soon as possible. Anbu member flickers away to inform Shikaku. Inside an underground building, Danza sat on his seat as he speaks. My time has come. I can finally rule the village. That Hiruzen has degraded the village after assuming the position of Hokage. Tobirama-sensei should have nominated me as Hokage instead. I will upvote Orochimaru for the position, and through Orochimaru, I can control the leaf from shadows and lead Konoha to a better future where Konoha is the only powerful force of the Shinobi world. I have control over Orochimaru as I know about all of his secrets. Kino. An Anbu with a cat mask covered in green and red intricate marking appeared before Danza. The Anbu bowed before Danza as he awaits his order. Kino, monitor Orochimaru's whereabouts. I have taught you personally, don't disappoint me. Yes, Danza-sama. Kino respectfully replies and flickers away. Orochimaru, you made a fine clone of first Hokage Hashirama Senju. Too bad, his powers are lackluster compared to the real deal. Now, all I need is a Mangekyo Sharingan and Nine Tails will be under my control. Our village will be unstoppable after that. Danza clenches his fist as he thinks about his next plan. At Kumo battlefront, the situation turns in Konoha's favor once again as reinforcement arrives from the Iwa battlefront. Konoha's Shinobis start to aim for a direct confrontation as they want to eradicate Kumo forces once and for all. Kumo gets flanked from three sides as they are surrounded and have no chance to retreat. I will keep them occupied. All of you retreat. The third Raikage orders his forces as he gets ready to engage Konoha's forces. No, Raikage-sama. We can fight together and push back the enemy. You don't have to stall time for our retreat. One of the Jounin commanders advised 3rd Raikage. Raikage-sama, I am sure we will be able to think of a solution. We still have the power of 2 tails and 8 tails with us. With 2 perfect Jinchuriki on our side, I am sure we will turn the tables against Konoha. Another Jounin commander suggested. No. All of you must retreat. I don't want the forces of Kumogakyo to die meaninglessly anymore. We still had a chance when Iwagakyo kept Konoha occupied on one front. But with all of Konoha's forces clashing against each other, we no longer have any chance for victory. Konoha has many great Shinobis with great powers. There is 3rd Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi, the White Fang, and the 3 Sanins. Also the recently famous Yellow Flash. We have faint hope for victory. Let me act as the deterrent force to keep them occupied while all of you retreat safely. I will succeed me as the new Raikage. All of you must support him to your fullest to let Kumogakyo flourish. 3rd Raikage lectured his subordinates as he riled up his chakra and coated his body in lightning. Lightning release chakra mode. The 3rd Raikage jumps amid Konoha forces as he keeps them occupied. The Jounin commanders have tears in his eyes as he looks at the broad back of 3rd Raikage fighting against enemies. He wipes away his tears as he orders his forces. Retreat. It is Raikage-sama's order. We have to retreat safely to our village without any casualties. I don't want Raikage-sama to meaninglessly die for our sake. Lightning release, Lightning Dragon Jutsu. A large lightning dragon appears on the battlefield and annihilates numerous Shinobis. The rest of the Shinobis aims their kunai at Raikage as they threw them at him. Thousands of kunai launches in A's direction as he flickers away. Lightning release, body flicker. The 3rd Raikage disappears from their vision as he dodges the kunais. Fast. He is too fast for our attacks. We can't even land a single blow on him. Many Shinobis complains as they continue attacking the 3rd Raikage. Lightning style, lightning straight. 3rd Raikage charges towards one of the unit as he smashes in them. Dust and debris rise as he starts to slaughter Shinobis one after another. Wind style formation jutsu, great wind breakthrough. Wind style, windstorm. Many wind-style users launch a wide range of cooperation jutsu to counter the lightning style of the third Reikage. A is pushed back as he maintains his balance. There is no scratch or wound on his body as he shrugs off the jutsu. We are doing no damage to him, we need to launch more powerful attacks. One of the Jounin commander orders his subordinates. Black Lightning, Black Panther. A attacks the Shinobis with Black Lightning as he annihilates another squad of ninjas. Not good, we can't fight him like this. He is desperate to struggle and die here. Another Jounin commander voices his opinion. The fight with the third Reikage continues for another 2 days as he uses himself as a decoy and faced against the 10,000 Shinobis of Konoha. He eventually falls and dies from overtaxing his body and chakra. The exhaustion from the continuous fight for 3 days claimed his life. In the Konoha, at the rooftop of Hokage's office, Minato flickers in front of Hiruzen as he bows down to wait for Hokage's orders. I believe that you will carry on the will of fire, Minato. So, I want to entrust you with the future of the Konoha and the Shinobi world. Minato, do you agree to succeed me as the next Hokage? Minato contemplates for a while before he asks. Hokage-sama, do you believe I will be able to shoulder such a heavy responsibility? I know you can do it. The will of fire burns brighter than anyone within you. There will be a council meeting later with various elders and the fire daimyo. I will nominate you for the position of the next Hokage during the meeting. Yes, Hokage-sama. I will do my best to live up to your expectations. Hiruzen nods as he dismisses Minato. Now, I have to wait for the news from the Kumo battlefront. I hope Konoha can score a victory. The third Reikage together with 2 tails and 8 tails would be a very tough opponent. We would have to sacrifice an arm or leg to take them down. Hiruzen sighs as he takes out his pipe and smokes as he gazes at the village. Chapter 54, 54. The aftermath of the war. The war on Kumo battlefront ends with Konoha's victory. All of the forces of Konoha retreats as they prepare for the aftermath of the war. Inside the meeting room, all the members of the council together with village elders gather in a conference in presence of Fire Daimyo. I will be stepping down from the position of Hokage. I have guided the village for long and want to retire now. Hiruzen states the issue of the meeting. All elders and council members are surprised by this sudden announcement and they discuss fervently among themselves. Fire Daimyo waves his fan in front of his face as he speaks. The third Hokage was doing a fine job leading the village. I don't see any problem with his rule, then why the sudden request to step down from the Hokage's position? Before anybody could continue the further discussion, Danza chimes in between as he speaks. Truth be told, the third Hokage was too soft and he allowed the village to be pushed in a corner. This third great ninja war only led to casualties and a lack of manpower and resources for Land of Fire. We obtained absolutely no benefit from the war as Hiruzen pushed the agenda of peace. I disagree with you, Danza-sama. While third Hokage-sama may have his shortcomings, his decision of peace prevented further casualties in the war. If not for peace with Iwagakure, Konoha wouldn't last long against the combined attack of 3 hidden villages. Shikaku interrupts Danza as he explains Hiruzen's decision. But haven't we suffered already? If we would have pushed a little bit harder, we would have secured victory on all 3 fronts and Land of Fire would have dominated the Shinobi world for years to come. Danza refutes Shikaku's claim as he answers with his opinion. Today, we aren't here to debate on my incompetency, rather we are here to decide the 4th Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. Hiruzen taps his fingers on the table as he gathers everyone's attention. Ohoho, I agree with third Hokage's words. We are here to decide the fourth Hokage. I would like to ask if any one of you have any candidates for the position. The Fire Daimyo waves his fan as he laughs. I recommend Orochimaru, one of the legendary Sannin, for the position of Hokage. Danza nominates Orochimaru. Orochimaru is truly a genius in this age of war. But he isn't a suitable candidate to lead the village as Hokage. A sinister will and greed lurk deep behind those eyes. That's why I am not in favor of Orochimaru as Hokage. Hiruzen refutes Danza's nomination as he stares at Danza with a pensive expression. Do any of you have any other candidate for Hokage's position? Fire Daimyo waves his fan as he looks towards the rest of the council members. I would like to nominate Sakumo Hatake for the position of Hokage. Shikaku presents his opinion. Fervor discussion starts among council members as they discuss the prospect of Sakumo as Hokage. He will be a great Hokage. His strength is comparable to Akage and his achievements in a war far surpass anyone else. I support Shikaku's opinion. One of the council members supports the notion. Yes, Sakumo Hatake will be a fine Hokage. His achievements, his skill, and strength, all of the Hokage class, and his character is great. Another council member agrees with the notion. Have all of you forgotten about the event which happened 3 years ago? Due to his incompetency, Land of Fire suffered a huge loss. That event even further strengthened over enemies. It was because of that event, Kumo dared to bare its fangs at Konoha. Danza reminded them of the incident which happened 3 years ago. Third Hokage, you have served the village for many years. So, do you have any particular person in your mind, who is suitable for the position of Hokage? The Fire Daimyo folds his fan as he looks at Hiruzen. I recommend Minato Namikaze for the position of Hokage. He has enough strength and contribution during the war to become a Hokage. Hiruzen states his opinion. A pupil of Jiraiya, one of the 3 legendary Sannins. That is a good choice indeed. Koharu agrees with Hiruzen. Danza stands from his seat as he faces off against Hiruzen. Minato is still too young for Hokage's position. He is still inexperienced when it comes to leading a village. Danza-san, seems like you are nitpicking against every candidate others nominate for the position. I wonder if you want Hokage's position for yourself. Fire Daimyo waves his fan in front of his face as he curiously looks for Danza's response. That's not like it. What I meant to say is we need to consider age and experience when it comes to such an important matter. Danza answers while flustering. If you don't have any other complaints, then let us hear third Hokage's reasoning for his choice. Fire Daimyo continues. He emerged victorious at the Battle of Canopy Bridge and distinguished himself by leading the way to end of the Third Great Shinobi War. He faced off against 1,000 enemy Shinobis all by himself and repelled their invasion. That's enough contribution to assign him the position of Hokage. Hiruzen explains his choice. I am opposed to this notion. Danza strongly refutes the notion. What about the rest of you? Fire Daimyo unfolds the fan in front of his face as he stares at everyone. We don't have any problem with third Hokage's nomination. All of the present council members agreed with Hiruzen. It is decided then, Minato Namikaze will be the fourth Hokage of the Leaf. Fire Daimyo folds his fan as he concludes the meeting. At Konoha's morning ceremony, all the ninjas gathered with their respective clans as they mourn for their loved ones. I stood together with my parents and family as we mourn. We stood near Fugaku as we closed our eyes for silent prayer. We managed an armistice, but the sacrifice was just too great. Lord Third intends to take full responsibility and retire. There are voices in support of installing you, leader, as the fourth Hokage. Please. One of the Uchiha clan members raised the issue. Enough talk. Fugaku silences the member as he continues to close his eyes. What should we do about Kakashi Hatake? He doesn't belong to our clan but possesses the Sharingan. Another member raises the issue of Kakashi. I clenched my fists when I heard about this. How can they think of such a thing during such kind of event? I understand Obito Uchiha fought bravely. Let's respect his wishes. We should bring the Sharingan back to the Uchiha. The clan member continues. The war just ended. Do not sow seeds of discord. Fugaku rebukes the Uchiha member. Yes, sir. We finally have peace. We will persevere to maintain it. That is the duty of the Uchiha clan. Fugaku ends the conversation. I spot Itakai moving towards Orochimaru. I follow Itakai as I am curious to see Orochimaru. Grieving over the dead is meaningless. If there any meaning in death, it's to take advantage of it. Orochimaru mutters as he stares at many graves. What is the meaning of life? Itakai questions Orochimaru. There is none. There's meaning in life if it's eternal. Orochimaru replies to Itakai. Then wouldn't that make life meaningless, if there is no one left alive except you? If you have eternal life, then wouldn't that be like a cursed life where you see your loved ones pass one by one? I interrupt Orochimaru as I look at him. Orochimaru has pale skin, golden eyes with slitted pupils, purple markings around his eyes, and fang-like teeth. He also has pronounced cheekbones and straight waist-length black hair with some lock covering and framing his face over to his shoulders. As I am inspecting Orochimaru, he is also inspecting me with a curious expression. After staring at me for a while, Orochimaru starts to retreat as I hear him muttering. What a fine specimen. A shiver ran through my back as I heard those creepy lines. Inside an underground building, Orochimaru is performing some experiments as he pours a transparent liquid from a test tube in a conical flask. The liquid turns blue as Orochimaru jots down something in a logbook. Danza walks beside Orochimaru as he speaks. Everything in this situation is going the way the Hiruzen wants. The third Hokage just intends to use Minato as a puppet and intend to keep ruling the Hidden Leaf village. Orochimaru continues experimenting as he converses with Danza. At this rate, the leaf will have no future whatsoever. Danza angrily accuses Hiruzen. It's not over yet. So don't give up. If my research is successful, then I think it will be quite easy to seize power within the Hidden Leaf. Orochimaru consoles Danza. Danza frowns and stares at Orochimaru. But to grasp such power, much stronger measures are going to have to be prepared. Orochimaru entices Danza. When the time comes, those measures will be ready. However, it still isn't time yet. Danza walks out of Orochimaru's hidden lab as he mutters to himself. Frankly, if he was popular at all, this would be much easier. Danza walks to his root subordinates as he orders. Let's go, Kino, Kinato, and Hino. Sir, yes sir. Danza and his subordinates dash off towards Leaf Village as Orochimaru stares at Danza's back and smiles to himself. So that's it guys, hope you like the video. Like, share and subscribe the channel for more such videos and Tell me in the comment section if you have any questions or recommendation about the new What If series you guys wants to listen. Peace.